triple-double looked pretty good last night, didn't it?
God. And I don't want to hear from the Heat that, they just hit shots on
Everybody's
hitting shots
made me
on
puke last night. I'm real sensitive to comments with all teams now, and recently I feel like our coach is kind of, and I get we're at the end of the year, and I like our effort and we want to win, and and I'm like, they just hit shots, and I was like, listen, man, you might want to go back and look at how many 40-something, 70-something plus points we've given up in halves recently, including some really friggin' bad teams. They gave up 80 points last night. And I know Jaylen Brown, they got talent we don't have, and nobody's arguing that. And by the way, the theme of the show today might just be that. At the end of the day, we don't have Jaylen Brown, and we don't have Jason Tatum on this team. Don't get me wrong. We got a whole bunch of guys running around. The numbers on the box score of the starting five looked pretty good last night. Seemed like everybody had 18 points. But we got a bunch of guys that tried real hard, and they did. It wasn't lack of effort last night. It's just we are limited in talent. And that leads me to the second part of, now that we're going to start critiquing this team, we're a play-in team. They're not they're definitely a top 10 team. And by the way, they're number 10 right now. Jovic and Ware. Jovic now in his fourth year, 6'10", all that skill set. And he hurt a lot. Has a couple good games to tease you. He's got that in common with Ware. And I watch it, and they're going to the basket just at will, laying it in, dunking. And I always think, wow, what's your take on the Khalil Ware? I don't want to beat it up all morning. I truly don't. And his 13 minutes and his 8 minutes and his 12 minutes. And we'll just basically enter to get some guys some rest and get your 6 or 8 points and 5 or 6
What are you saying, that he should play more or should?
Well, I don't know.
When he's in the game, he's doing nothing. Yeah. Against the Celtics, he was not a impediment to the rim. He was not doing anything offensive.
That knock on him in college may be what he is here too.
I mean, look at in the past week and a half. Besides last night, 53 points in the first quarter. First quarter for Boston.
It's amazing.
The Heat have given up 81, 80, and 79 in halves in the last week and a half. Yeah. I mean, their defense.
Horrible.
And we're talking Khalil Ware. It's not just him, obviously. They're an awful defensive team.
By the way, they right off the bat, they're going after Tyler Hero.
And you could see Jalen every time they
get
that mismatch.
Doris hit that last night. I went, Doris. Right off the bat, first quarter, there's Tyler covering, I don't know,
trying to get Jaylen Brown. They would get mismatch on Jaylen Brown. It's like, oh, boy, here he goes again. And Jaylen Brown just did not miss.
He was doing layups.
Now to the point, the Heat shot 24 or 47 on three-pointers. So they were making shots.
Amount of threes in a game.
They were making shots. And
they still lose by 18.
They were never really in the game. They cut it to like 10. Yeah.
I think Hero hit a 3 and made it 9, but then they go bam, 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 and it's back up. Hey man, this is what you have. And it kind of goes back to everything else we're talking about and Omar, and I'm going to tie this in somehow because I'm really tired. And by the way, Channing Crowder's so tired of it. He called yesterday, and he got on it too, and I was kind of glad he did, so it doesn't just sound like it's coming from me. Channing's had a gut full of the Omar. Our guys go out, they just party. It's weak. And I know Omar says, well, you're not out, and I'm out, and I see these guys. And I'm going, Omar, come on, man. You're not out. First of all, I'm guessing Omar ain't hanging around. I'm not taking shots. I like Omar. And
take some shots, Joe. Go ahead. Do it.
But this thing about, that's not why we haven't won a playoff game in 25 years, is because our guys are living in clubs more than they are at the practice field. That's all BS. And by the way, guys are going to go out no matter who goes, and I'm not saying everybody goes to clubs, but our players are going to go out. But this thing, the stereotype, I thought it was a really mature team last year. Now, whatever issues people had, and at the end when you're not winning and you're not playing, there's going to be shots. And hey, the Green Bay Packers coach came out at the owners' meetings and says, our biggest problem is A lot of guys were salty with how they weren't playing last year, and it ruined our whole team. And I thought, wow, that's a bad look for a head coach too. And he said, I'm going to take care of that. It was, I don't want to say it's as bad as saying our guys are late all the time. I don't know what to do. That was ridiculous. But this thing is, we just need better players. And we've had some of the best players on my teams. God, I wish I could just break it all down for you. Some of our best players on our team were some of the wildest human beings I've ever been around in my life. And I never worried about him. And one guy was puking before a game because I knew he was out all night. And he went out and had a couple of touchdowns. And I remember being on the plane going home going, that is incredible how good he is. And I remember the coach saying to the trainer, what's going on? He's over there puking in the corner. And he said, don't worry, he's fine. He just had a long night. His shoes too. Like, what the hell's going on? We got this game, and Christ, he's over in the corner puking and dry heaving. We haven't even started the game. Listen, guy went out and did amazing things. And I'd love to say his name. I really would, to make the point on just how good a player he was. And I know we're going to have people try to guess and all the BS that you guys do. And I'm not going to do that.
I'll throw one out. I was in a small Buffalo bar, one night with a couple writers before the game. We're sitting there, and the phone rings. This is back in the day, right? They have phones. And he picks it up, and he goes, okay, Mark Clayton room. And he goes, and he ordered a couple bottles of champagne. Now, then he went out, and I think he had 2 touchdowns the next day because we were all looking at it.
Man, and he was amazing. He was incredible.
So, but the larger point to the Omar thing about partying and all that, look at the Panthers. The Panthers would always, we got to watch who we bring down here because it was for a different reason. We older guys come to the sunshine and they're looking at the
401k program.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what?
Bring
all
the
they need is
family
good
down.
players. All they needed, all of a sudden they get the right GM in there. Somehow that was no longer an issue because he was bringing in the right players. That's really what it comes down to.
And in fairness to Omar, part of this is off our old grumpy defensive coordinator that we had a few years ago. That's one of the best in the business and has had great success everywhere he's been.
I love to listen to him talk. Vic Fangio,
yeah, and really good at what he did. Not my favorite guy to be around because there was just nothing there. It was just a little over the top of like, hey, if you're not talking football, don't talk to me. I go, okay. Hell, he's younger than I am. So anyway, he made a comment to Jaws, and it got Philly about, those guys are more worried about partying than they are football. And he had some of those guys on the team.
Some of that was true, right? I mean,
and he was, and one of his biggest problems was our second-round pick from South Carolina, who apparently was going out, but he just wasn't very good. Didn't matter. He just wasn't very good, whether he was playing or not playing. He looked good practicing sometimes, but we just got to get good guy. We got to get, if you're talking about guys that want to be better, yeah, but you're not going to stop guys. And I remember this, all these great examples of this, and this has nothing to do with the Heat. I think the Heat have way over that, and they're just trying to be good, and this is just what they are. I just think what you saw last night is what they are. I really do.
They have a lot of interchangeable parts, but they're all average.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all average.
I don't know how
parts.
else to say it. It's not a shot. You guys, you're all NBA players. Jaime's a nice story. His name, every time he plays, he hits a couple of shots, and he's up for 6th man of the year. I get it. 15 points a game. He's playing a lot better this year than last year, and he's a good player. He goes to basket, does all the things that he got a lot of guys that do all the things they like, and they need better players. They just need better players. The Miami Dolphins, talking like we can sit here and we're doing, why'd we get rid of it? We need better players. We need better players. Our biggest problem, the coach, and the coach is, he doesn't know what he's doing. We need better players. Players, really good players, make coaches look better and GMs look better. And so that's kind of my theme. And you're not going to get a team full of guys that sit at home every night. You're going to get a core of mature guys. We got a lot of single guys, very mature. Bradley Chubb's all business, man. He's not married. Got a pretty girlfriend, but I just, he gets going, and I tell him, and then, sometimes somebody, they don't care. I go, man, they care. They care. I see it on the bus, see it on the plane, walk by every one of them, sit with them. They care. There's some dudes, and when they play bad, when they have bad games, they know, and they know everybody else knows, and they know because everybody gets the information more now than ever before. They got this Pro Football Focus was the worst thing to ever happen. Now the media gets it. They spit it out. Fans see it and go, look at that guy. He sucks. He's the second worst player at his position this year. Savaianaya, hello there. He's living with that right now, getting ready for year two.
That's good, isn't it?
Getting called out.
He's not just the coaches telling him he's
Chop
bad.
Robinson, hello, Chop. They're calling your ass out. Not enough. Coaches like you, though. Said, hey, man, we're going to get him going. Can't wait.
I don't know if they like him or as much as they want to see
they want
him on the field to work with them, right? And they like some of the things he's doing. But you look at the production. Anyways, that's the thing.
No, that's part of the show today.
The point is,
you hit part of the show today.
that the Heat were trying. The Heat, like the Dolphins, I thought last year the Dolphins tried. The Heat were trying hard last night. There's no problem with effort. It's just not good enough.
No. How many times your Mike going, hey, man, I got no problem with our effort. And they can't come out and go, we're just not I don't have enough talent, because you'll get crushed by your team. Everybody's got to be careful on every comment you make. But, hey, listen, I was going to ask you, and I got a little carried away with this whole thing. But, yeah, that last night I couldn't wait. National TV. We got Jason Tatum, who didn't play against Atlanta. Atlanta beat Boston. Atlanta's been a nice little story, nice little comeback for them. And I was like, okay, he's going to play. He's on national TV on ESPN, doubleheader, 1st to 2. And I went, okay, I didn't realize this was on national TV till yesterday. And I went, it's not good. And they went right out. And by the way, the Heat can't shoot threes any better. They might not hit 24 the rest of this year, 24 or 47. And Celtics just like, well, we're going to score every time we have it here in this first quarter. And we're going to have 80 at the half. It's 80-57 at the half before I watched the second half this morning.
I thought the Celtics were done this year, and then you come into last night.
Best story in the NBA
they
by
are,
far.
They are. And Brown and Tatum, I'm sure, remember the Heat putting them out of a couple seasons when they thought they could go far in the playoffs. And so when Tatum's decided Atlanta or the Heat to play, I'm sure that they still have motivation for destroying the Heat. And Brown to me is a different. I didn't know he was this good. How he's played all year, his whole season, and then last night.
Whole game.
I mean, he's scoring. He's going by 3 players and scoring in traffic. It's
he drives. He takes that extra step, which you get away with in the NBA, and he's doing a layup or he's dunking on you, and then he's knocking down threes. He's got a lot of confidence right now. And I got to tell you, the thing kind of amazing too, you add a guy back who's used to being the man. He's fit in nicely. I think they're like 10-2 now with him in the lineup. It's been a nice little thing. So anyway, that's it. And I brought Jovic and Ware, and I go, yeah, that's a Dolphin thing, man. We bring in Jovic's and Wares, and this is what you get. Well, the potential, we're not giving up on him. Jovic is in his 4th year. He got a $60 million contract. Where? We like him, we don't like him. And by the way, and you heard me say this yesterday, talking to Mark Ross, about what about these guys that come out and they're every year they're going to be takes plays off. That's Khalil Ware. That's what drives, then get back. I don't know how he does on his defense. They tried that zone defense, and next thing I know, last night Celtics were getting dunks off that zone defense. And you knew he's going to throw it in when you can't stop people. Let's go back to our zone.
So much of the time, what the report is coming out of college is the same one you hear. With Weir, his motor doesn't run. Like with Chop Robinson, no production. A lot of the times the problems, and the Dolphins' problems were injuries. Oh, he's injured. Well, we don't care. We'll take him. So, then it becomes with where it was, where they were drafting. Hey, we're going to take the risk. We got to take. And I understand that where the Heat were drafting. I think he was 18th off the top of my head. That you got to take some guy with big upside, and
that's what
you
they
can
did.
coach.
I get it,
but
Paul. He's got skill set. He's got really good skill set.
He'll go through a stretch of games where you're like, oh,
he'll
he's
throw a
he's
28-14 on your ass.
But then last night he was just not in the game. He was, Boston took him, whatever it was, he wasn't in the game.
Well, and then the other thing you worry about when these young guys don't play, and again, I've seen this, and so have you, and he's got to answer questions. Hey, why don't they play you, man? You hear all nice things other teams that you play well against are talking about how good you're going to be. And he goes, he knows. Suppose
anybody who watched that game knows why he wasn't playing more.
Right.
I mean,
Spo is. I'm not saying Spo's not about playing favorites. Spo's about playing guys the right way. I don't believe coaches are like, he's really good, but I'm pissed at him. I like him. I'm not going to play him. That's not the case. Anyway, hey, we got more stuff to get to here this morning. How about the Marlins, first place in National League East? I don't know how long we're going to be able to say that, but it felt good just to say it one
Couldn't
time.
have had a better opening series.
Oh, my God.
I mean, opening
Sandy Alcantara, complete game?
2-0, hasn't given up an earned run. And they got the two leading RBI guys in baseball right now.
How about that?
That's
the Canadian combo, the combo Canadians.
How did the Canadians not win the World Baseball
Classic? I don't know. We got three of their players. We got three of them. They're all really dead. They're three of our best friggin' players. Go Canada. I don't care what anybody says. Go Canada. I love you. Plus, part of my family's Canadian, my wife's family. All right. Hey, we got stuff to get to, man. Serious stuff, of course, when you're talking about your South Florida Chevy dealers. Man, I hope you took advantage of Truck Month. I didn't. And probably if you're running down there late, they'll probably still take good care of you. But, yeah, Chevy Truck Month doesn't mean you stop because, boy, these are best overall products we've ever had. And sure, we love our rugged Colorados and our powerful Silverado HDs and unbelievable Silverados at 1,500. You just go on and on with power and all the things you need to get through a hard work week for you. Something's durable as you are, that works like you do, and yet at the same time being able to enjoy yourself on the weekends with the family and being able to pull around some of your favorite toys that you work hard for, whether it's the wave runners or that little fishing boat to get out and enjoy yourself, man. You can't beat a Silverado truck to be a big part of your family. But, hey, it's the SUVs too, man. Suburban, Tahoe, Traverse, Equinox, man. Take what you want. Boy, we got some great-looking SUVs, and, of course, the Corvette is undefeated. They have never made an ugly Corvette, but right now, this latest one that's out, it's got about a $250,000 look to it, man. And my two neighbors across the street are teasing me. Life must be good because they both got them. Hell, some of them have more than one across the street. I don't know what's going on there, but I do know this. You can't go wrong with the products right now at your South Florida Chevy dealers. We got great deals, best overall products we've ever had, and 14 dealerships to make sure you have a great experience and a great deal. Take a test drive and fall in love at your South Florida Chevy dealer.
Oh, thought it was a nightmare. Lord, it was so
Hey, happy Thursday out there to everybody joining us. Always appreciate everybody that gets up with us in the morning and joins us. Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel in with us this morning. Woody's taking the day off, and all day Dan Day. Absolutely. All day Dan Day's as good as that bullpen right now for the Marlins. You can always count on them, man. You can always count on. By the way, you want to talk about great stories. The Marlins 5-1 start. Is it a better story, the three Canadian players that are three of the best players on the team? Is it Sandy Alcantara and the start he's off to? Or is it the whole friggin' bullpen? How good they are.
They couldn't have had a better homestand, could they? Now, admittedly, they're playing a bad opponent, but so what?
Two teams
so
were
what?
bad, but they're still professional baseball teams.
And everything worked for them. Everything that the one-run victories that McCullough talked about, they're going to have a lot of. They toughed those out.
But they went out and got a closer just
they
for it. Paid a guy $13
million. They paid
million.
$13 million for Fairbanks, which told you they think
we're going to be a lot of tight games, and I need you to get people out and stay healthy.
Well, they have pitching and defense, and they're not sure where the offense is, and especially, you know, at the start of the year, their most accomplished hitters out.
Right, and Stowers
and yet look what happened. Casey, who comes over from the Cubs top prospect.
Casey is just what a nice story.
You know, Peter Bendex couldn't have had a better series for his decisions in the offseason.
Yeah.
Look at Fairbanks had a good. Everybody had a good series.
Well, I'll tell you what. I know one thing: you're not taking Liam Hicks out of the lineup right now. I don't know a lot. 3 home runs and 12 RBI in this first. He's leading the league in RBIs. And, there's a lot of good stories. Sandy Alcantara is back. I think that's fair to say. You're talking about an efficient shutout. To think that a guy's getting a complete game early in the season, and if you didn't see it, you go, I can't believe they let him go a complete game. Then you realize 93 pitches, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts in the game. That's efficient.
Yeah, in the first game, he only went 1 inning where it wasn't 3 batters.
Yeah.
And through 7. So, you know, last year, I talked to Sandy before the opening day, and he talked about how he wasn't confident last year. You know, because of the injury and coming back. He
didn't come back the way, right away.
But till the end of the year, the last couple months, he wasn't confident. And he looks back at that and said, why was I doing that? Why was I doing that? A lot of it's a common story with injuries. And, you know, confidence is the one intangible that matters. And, you know, all this other stuff, will and leadership and mental toughness, just a bunch of talk. But confidence mattered. And, boy, he looks Cy Young Sandy again.
Well, it's a nice start. And, of course, they're going to jump up in competition. They'll be flying out of town today and on their way to New York to open up against the Yankees for a 3-game series before heading right back home and getting going again here. So I'll tell you what I did, Dave. I didn't ask you what you did yesterday. I don't get into your sports business, but I made sure I missed the early version, but I didn't miss the late version. Fernando Mendoza, unless it was live, I watched it at 6:00 yesterday, and I watched all 56 throws. And I'm always curious because I really believe, unless somebody out there remembers a quarterback on his pro day having a bad day throwing to his own receivers, and if you do, then you're probably not ready to play in the NFL, and probably not for you. And maybe it's time to go find something else to do with your life, because you're not throwing. Nobody's covering your guys. He's throwing Fernando Mendoza, of course. I love the highlight. Oh, Fernando, he's the number one guy. Went out, yeah. But I watched it, and we can still, and they're going to debate this to the end, and there are going to be people go to bat for Ty Simpson and for a lot of reasons, and they're putting up like 10 categories of like who's better once they're outside the pocket, and who's more accurate, and who's on time, and who played with better competition, and who played late in games, and who can make, you can go through the whole list, and I don't want to bore people with that. But I tell you what, man, they showed him before. He is so good. His leadership, I know we use that word a lot, but just the way he talks with his guys and the way they come up to him. He's only been there 1 year.
I watched highlights of it, and I was
he's got a little something different
looking
to him,
at the reports. Louis Riddick said He's never seen it before at a pro day. A quarterback come to the line and call the players by name and say what route they're running. So everybody watching not only knows what they're doing, but they know how in command he is of what's going on.
They said he's already working on the Raiders' West Coast offense, and he'll have that thing down and know more than whoever else is there. He will know more about it than anybody else because he is a sharp guy. His leadership, I don't think anybody that tries to get him to try to go, because he's a pretty straight Christian kid. He's a good kid, you can tell. And he's not going to be, there's no outside influence going to change him. He is solid as a rock.
He's in Vegas, baby. They're going to try.
I know they will. And I got to tell you, the jump that he's made, and I was glad somebody said this yesterday, from Cal, the guy that played against the University of Miami, had a really good game. And the guy that played last year is night and day. His improvement as a player. Now, listen, he's in our backyard. And, of course, I like our backyard guys that grow up down here. But I thought it was impressive. And, oh, by the way, he's almost 6'5". I saw him as, 6'4" and 3/4 and almost 240 pounds.
Yeah, he's put on some weight.
So, yeah.
But
he's working, man. He works at it.
To your point, that Kirk Cignetti, before the national championship game, talked about how much he's improved. Basically saying, we thought he was good when he came here, but we didn't know he could be this good.
Yeah.
And so the ceiling still keeps getting, going up on
right.
who he is. I don't think he's, and you look at the NFL quarterbacks, everybody's talking about the class next year. But before Joe Burrow came out, before his senior year, nobody thought he was the number one pick. Before Mendoza's senior year, nobody thought he was a first-round pick.
Oh, no, he must have jumped ahead of – I would love to go back what it was like at this time last year and how everybody – and they did talk about Fernando Mendoza that, I knew a lot of teams want him out of Cal. Cal was going to lose him. There was no question. He was going to step up. He had a lot of offers, good offers, by the way. So it's not like, where the hell did this come from? And he went to Indiana. I still don't know to this day. And if you know or not, and obviously he's a number one pick, Carson Beck, but, his Fernando Mendoza's dad, I would still love to know the story. Doesn't change anything. They both played each other in a national championship game. But Fernando Mendoza's dad is really good friends with Mario Cristobal. Openly. They are very close and have been their whole life. It's not something made up. They're close. So I don't know if he didn't want to come here. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Beck, now listen, Beck's going to get drafted too and everything else, but what a story that would have been here. Local kid back home.
I don't think anybody thought he was going to be this good. Now, and going back.
By the way, that is fair. And that's not a shot because I thought the same thing.
Nobody thought.
Somebody told me he was going to be the number one player taken in the draft. I would have no way. And I still remember him from high school.
I asked around, and the line I got was that he wanted to go play with his brother at Indiana, which I'm sure became the case. But maybe he would have come home if Miami was interested in him. I don't know. But look at what's going on in the draft right now. Now, I did a story before the championship game about why did he go under the radar so much? And I talked to Alex Mortensen, Chris Mortensen's son, ESPN, late ESPN broadcaster. But Alex Mortensen's on the Alabama staff, and he ran the summer camp, where they bring in all the talent, and he noticed Mendoza. He never heard of him before, and he said, "This is the best guy here." Alabama had already signed Ty Simpson. So they weren't in the market for a quarterback. So he tried to get Mendoza, and Mendoza was for a while open to walk on at Alabama. Can you imagine if they'd got Mendoza to walk on at Alabama? At the last second, he said that he got the call from his father that he's going to Cal. But the point being that Ty Simpson blocked Alabama from even considering Alex Mendoza.
And the stories grow as this success story that we've seen from a two-star guy out of Columbus High School, who, by the way, has won a lot. He and his brother won state championships, and Columbus had a nice run with those guys. But, the stories that come out are just incredible about what he's been able to do. And what a show, man. They said he signs autographs, got time, shakes hands, says he introduced, and I'm terrible at this. I meet somebody randomly, and then I see him again like 3 days later. I can't remember the name. He picks it up. It's there. It doesn't leave the brain.
You know, one of the questions about him is this really who he is? You know, because
I think he's
it is
authentic.
absolutely. You know, from the outside, I don't know him.
I'm being a huge fraud in life, one of the great frauds in this town that I am. I got to tell you, man, he's authentic, because a fraud can tell a fraud. Frauds pick up on frauds. And I've been around some great frauds, you know, like, hey, man, you really turned it on there. Yeah, I know. Did I sell it? Yeah, you did a nice job. That was good. Hey, we got to go to break here, man. We got a lot of stuff. We can't get away from the Celtics and the Marlins, and not just that, but we got a lot more with the Miami Dolphins. I think the big fella, I talked to him yesterday, is coming in today. Big Bo comes in on Thursdays, and got our last luncheon today. So if you notice why I'm got my good cologne on,
I went
today.
To one of those. That's a good luncheon. That was
you were there.
You spoke at it.
Well, I was there.
You were on the panel.
And every time I stand up, the other four guys go, "Oh, here he goes. Nobody's going to talk now because he'll take it. Oh, now he's got to stand up." And
well, they had Marino up on the panel too. Everybody wanted to hear what Marino.
That's all they wanted to hear.
It was stories about Marino from his receivers, like you.
Yeah, but we stroked him.
It was good.
It was
good. It was a good show.
He goes, "What stories you tell?" I go, "Oh, good stuff, man. Don't worry. We only do the stuff Saturday night when we're all drinking, when we take little jabs at you."
I want to see one of those shows. I haven't seen that show. You know, where you're out with the Dolphin big spenders who get the A material, right?
One of my great Marino stories is, well, a lot of them, but the one I can tell you is he throws a pick six, and against I think it was the Raiders, and the guy that intercepted happened to be a guy who went to Cal named Jeff Barnes. And Jeff Barnes, if you ever look it up, happened to also be not only a freakish athlete, but was really fast. It was one of the fast guys on our team at Cal, and I knew that. And so he took off and pick six on a break off, and he jumps in front and takes off, and we got a few guys chasing him. And Raiders used to kick us around pretty good from time to time, even with all our good teams. They had some good games against us, and so film study are like, oh man, film study is going to be bad, and everybody's looking how they're playing. I go, man, I wonder what he's going to say. Marino threw a couple picks. This will be an interesting one. How he does it. So he goes back to the interceptions, and I go, oh man, this is never thinking I was going to be part of this story, and He's putting the marker, and he's going through, like, oh, he's going to break down, like, where you throwing the ball? What are you doing here? Not that he's going to rip the quarterback, but just say, hey, this, what do you see here? And he runs it, and so the guy cuts in front of the receiver, and he starts running down the field, and I went as hard as I could for about 15 or 20 yards. I think Tony Nathan was another one, was kind of chasing him. He gets on us for lack of effort, chasing off the interception. The only thing he was worried about was anybody, how hard were the offensive players running to try to tackle and catch up to this guy and tackle him, so we give our defense a chance to get the stop.
That's like beating the dog when somebody farts. Right?
So we come out, David, and we come out of studying, and he just ripped everybody. I mean, everybody got zapped on all. I mean, he just, you come out and he could get after you pretty good. His point was, well, I hated film study. No matter what the game was, it was going to get, wins weren't impressive. I mean, he was going to get after you. It was never going to be, hey guys, we're going to enjoy this one today. Nice 21-point win. It was going to be bad. And, and we're winning a lot of games. This is not like this group today. We were winning a lot of games. And we come out, and he's my roommate. And I walk out and I go, are you kidding me, bro? I'm getting ripped. I said, and the worst part is, and I can't even tell him, I went to college with that friggin' guy. I couldn't catch him. I could have had a 5-yard start and a 40-yard run and wasn't going to catch that dude. We had this track thing we ran, and he like ran and barely lost to like our fastest guy in the friggin' team at one of our receivers. And I go, and he's like getting after us for the effort. We're giving him a hard time. And he goes, "You're not Dan Marino." It's a good point. A very good point. All right. Hey, we got to go to break here, man. We got a lot of stuff going on this morning. And yeah, we do Dan Marino stories all morning, man. No question. You know, the other great one when I come back is how strict curfew was during camp. And
come on.
No, I got to tell you, I'll tell you that story when we come back. I want the people to know this story. Hey, right now, though, I want to talk to you about air conditioning. Hey, I want to let you know, man, if you're having air conditioning problems, starting to get hot out there. It's going to start getting real warm in South Florida. We're about to that time. You know, hot during the day, a little rain comes in, and then it gets even worse. Well, air conditioning companies, and they don't have the best reputations. Everybody knows that. Maybe you haven't been happy with the last couple of air conditioning companies you've called. Well, I got to tell you about one that I think you're really going to like. President of the company, Melissa De Verona, at Chillzone Air Conditioning is the president, takes all the calls every day, has those trucks out, has a lot of experience. All the people on all those trucks have a lot of experience, been with her for a long, long time, and they're going to take great care of you. You'll deal with her directly. So when she says we'll cover all of South Florida, we'll have a crew out to take care of it if you need a fix. And if we need to install a new air conditioning unit, we can do that for you. Duct cleaning, we can do that. It's about great, reliable service. It's family owned and operated. You're going to get the best, and you deal with the president. Melissa will take care of you from start to finish. So whatever kind of problems you're having, not real happy with the people you've dealt with in the past, you can feel good about this one. Call 786-378-2778. If you're ready to make that change, just tell them you heard it right here on 104.3 WQAM. That's 786-378-2778. Or go to chillzoneac.com. Stay chill with Chillzone Air Conditioning.
Let's go.
Everybody out there got a lot of stuff going on. Actually, I know you're going to be there Saturday. Saturday night, Inter Miami is moving into the new stadium at Freedom Park. It actually is called New Stadium, by the way, too. New bank or new stadium at Freedom Park. Saturday, 7:30. They open up. They got it done. I got to tell you, not everybody may be happy with how this thing got done or any of that, and I've heard a few people complain to me when I brought it up the other day and try to tell me off the side. I always love when people try to get me off the side and tell me what really happened there and, you know, the power moves and all this. I said, listen, man, I appreciate it, but I'm just talking about the results here. And Jorge and Jose Moss did two things. First of all, they got messy. And I don't know if anybody has gotten more out of a maybe the greatest player of all time at the end of his career to get all the things done and get the value. Let's just start with from a business standpoint. Inter Miami's value, Dave, from about $600 million I remember at to now about $1.5 billion in value. Get the new stadium. We'll see. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it Saturday night. You're going to be covering.
Yeah, I'm going to be out there and
the Sun Sentinel.
But it's the value 1.45. It's the exact same as the Marlins. A MLS team being the value of a major league baseball team, and the Marlins. The Marlins has gone up in value since Bruce Sherman took it over.
I don't know though. They lost that
bit.
Contract. I'm surprised it's at that number because they lost about $30 million a year on the.
Well, if baseball's smart.
Being on Marlins.com.
Baseball's smart. They'll do what basketball did, which was they package all the teams together.
Yeah.
And they sell to streaming companies for $76 billion, 11 years, $76 billion, and so baseball's got to get smarter.
You know who else got to do that? Get on that program? College football. College football's got to put that together. Problem is, I don't believe the Big Ten and SEC want to split money with everybody across the board.
But the Big Ten now is 18 teams. They could do it themselves, probably, couldn't they? I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know.
I'm not either. I know the thought was to get all the Power 5 teams and what they'd be able to by adding more good games. You're guaranteed super games that everybody want to pick up every week and get everybody playing everybody. And I don't know if that'll ever happen, though. I know there's been talk about that as well.
How about March? How about just taking March and saying who wants to buy March Madness for the streamers?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, listen, we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, so they're going to open up the Saturday night, 7:30, 20. What's it hold? Almost 27,000. The suites, I'm guessing they have a lot of suites in there.
I drove by it the other day, and it seemed like there were 500 cars there, and they're all construction workers, I'm sure, finishing the job.
I see the numbers, way over 1,000 workers on that thing that are still working right up to game time to get this done. But hey, man, congratulations! I never thought Messi would be here. I'd lie to you. I thought, well, maybe about now. I thought, okay, he's done. Because he was pretty close to just finishing that World Cup, that great run that he had with his country to win the World Cup. And he played played unbelievable. If he was ever going to be considered the greatest player of all time, that might iced it at that point. Not to mention, even coming back here, he hasn't exactly done the farewell tour. He's the best player. He's been the best player in this league. I know what you're thinking.
My question was, why is he coming here? Is it just to ride out his career? But he's played hard and he's played and
he can make him about $70 million. It seems to have
mattered to him. I was at the championship game and it mattered to all those guys to win that. So that's good to see. I tell you what, the big winners is the Moss brothers going to the MLS. MLS is a big winner there. Look how they've elevated the platform. The big loser, Major League Baseball. I remember walking out of a game with Jorge Moss when he was rumored, and I sat there for an inning with him.
Oh, they wanted that team. They've been very open about it.
And it sounded like that deal was done. I'm going to be the owner of the Marlins, and saw him afterwards, and he was like, "There's a long story. What happened? We got
Yeah.
basically he felt like baseball did him wrong, but it's where MLS was the big winner there.
It's funny because it's pretty clear they did want the baseball team. But listen, God bless them. They've taken that thing and just maxed it out, what they're doing, and still looking for more. Every time there's another guy, you see Inter Miami's name in there, and you're like, how the hell are they going to
How do they
potentially
get that in
him?
the salary cap? Whenever I see actual people
I don't get it
involved with
either.
MLS, well,
They're going, no, it's sponsorship from the
Yeah.
outside. I'm like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of sponsorship going your way right now. I know that. Hello, Apple TV. Hey, man, we've got 7 o'clock hour coming up. We got a lot more stuff to get to. Pretty strong message, and I thought they did a great job the last few days, John Eric Sullivan and Jeff Hafley at the owners' meetings, but they got out there in front. They had a clear-cut message, in my opinion, they wanted to get out to their fan base on everything, and did a pretty good job. It was refreshing for me to hear them not run and hide on topics that people want to know about. Now, you may not like what they had to say, but they did the best job they could, and they did it in a classy way. And this is where I wouldn't be very good. I'd be taking shots at the people that put me in that situation and asking for, and they're not asking for time. They're saying they're going to win now. That's our goal. We obviously got to get a lot more talent. Going back to the theme of the show this morning, we all need more talent, right? And so anyway, we'll come back, talk a little bit about that. Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel in with us. David, what are you writing about, man? What are we thinking today? What are you writing about? What are we thinking about?
I'm thinking I'm not going to be writing today.
You got day off?
You know what? I'm going to. I want to do something on Mike Biamonte, the Heat public address announcer, retiring. I'm always fascinated by people.
Well, he's been there a long time.
Been there since 1990, I believe. But I'm always fascinated by people who are part of the product, but not the product. Part of a Heat night is going and listening to him. Yeah. Over the years, he's become part of the show.
He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. All right, we got to go to break. I want to tell you about Atlantic Men's Clinic, ED and low T. Man, it is nothing to mess with. Dave Hyde, I'm not saying you're dealing with it because I don't want to get into your business, but I got to tell you, man, it hit me about 2 years ago, and it hit me hard. I knew about my energy level. I was starting to feel it. And then when you get to like 265, and you're like, and I could see I wasn't fitting and stuff, and my wife was being really nice about all the weight I was gaining, and I was a mess. And then on top of that, the old sex drive was hit and miss, and then it just one day it was miss, and for months it was just nothing going on, and she's making excuses for me. And look, man, I don't need to tell you all this information about what's going on in my bedroom, but ED and low T hit the Rose family hard, as in Joe Rose. Atlantic Men's Clinic was there, though, man. Thank you so much, guys, at Atlantic Men's Clinic. Ladies, I can't thank you enough, man. 2 years. 2 years on the program. I went in there. Somebody pushed me here from the station. I'm glad I did. Got the PSA test, went in, got the results, sat down, said, here's what, answered all my questions. What the hell's going on? Why is this happening to me? Find out it happens to every man. Every guy deals with low T and ED. It will happen to every guy out there in case you haven't noticed, if you're being honest with yourself. Hey, the good news is if you get your energy level back and get more out of every day and the weekends and your vacations, man, Atlantic Men's Clinic, this is what they do. They knock out low T and ED. They hit home runs. They just get rid of it for you, man. You don't have to worry about those two cousins you never liked. And I want to let you know, they got 7 locations in South Florida to serve you. You will notice a difference very fast. The number one question I always get asked, how quickly will it kick in? I know it's ED you're talking about. Quickly. 877-455-7300. That's 877-455-7300. Set up that first appointment. Visit AtlanticMen'sClinic.com. I promise you, unbelievable results.
WQAM broadcasting live from the Ed In Miami Heat, Miami Hurricanes basketball. And now, the new home of the two-time World Series winner, Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us, Doral Kia, or DoralKia.com. Sandy Alcantara pitched a 3-hit complete game as the Marlins beat the White Sox 10-0. They're going to play the Yankees tomorrow at 1:35. The Heat were blown out by the Celtics 147-129. They'll host the Wizards Saturday at 3. The Panthers, they are going to be playing host to the Boston Bruins tonight at 7. And Malachi Tony will not wear number 10 like he did last year. Instead, he will don number 1 for the 2026 season for the Hurricanes. On to weather. That is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping homeowners stay safe this storm season. Visit tornadoroofing.com for a free roof and window estimate. Temperatures in the high 70s with a high chance of rain. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
And welcome back here for the 7 o'clock hour on a Thursday. Man, it is never a dull moment in sports around here. Last night on national TV, Boston came in and said, hello, Miami Heat. And we'll get into all that. Plus, owners' meetings are over. We'll talk a little bit about John Eric Sullivan and Jeff Hafley and the message. Kim Bocamper, Dave Hyde in with us. Bo, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. A little better. I was surprised. I hear Dave Hyde's on here, and always fun to come in with Dave Hyde.
Yeah.
I'm getting bored with sitting here with you and
Woody
and making me say stupid stuff every week.
Bo's blown up a couple of times on social media with comments he's made. So
I've seen it. I've heard of a couple of them, and one of them, it always seems to be gets back to your high school. Is all I know. Whenever
no, that one's not the one that blows up.
Oh, that's not the one that blows.
When we get into Lefty throwing the ball,
yeah.
You don't know about that yourself from stuff you've written.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
And we got all day Dan Day. Woody's got the day off. And
how many days is Woody getting off? It seems like every other week I come here, he's gone.
He has been.
Did you notice he's not here on the days you're here?
Well,
is that what you're getting at?
No. He usually likes to
be here when Bo's here
because he knows. Like I've said this, like Joe and him, I think they conjure it up before I get here. What's going to set me off? And like I said last week, I said it's like throwing a piece of meat out there. They know I'm going to jump on it and eat it. And then the next thing you know, I'm in Barry Jackson's column.
Barry just can't make the point on his own enough, which he has strong takes on things, but he got to throw Bo in to kind of support what he's saying, And so anyway, yeah. So Woody's got another day off, and I don't know.
For him.
You get a lot of time off.
Where is he? Is he up in Disney or somewhere?
He did go to Dollywood. He did the Dollywood.
I tell you, he's a good dad.
Oh no,
he's got time off. He takes those kids
around.
Man.
He is, and I gotta say this is a guy that didn't exactly get straight A's with the kids through marriage and divorce and children in the middle there and everything else. But besides all that, Woody's A+ stuff.
Well,
man,
so he's got time
kids.
off now because he's not because the
basketball.
The Canes are out of the. And Canes had a really nice run. Yeah, that was a good story.
By the way, that guy, what a
rising star, didn't he? He came from, obviously good pedigree at Duke and his family and all that, but first time head coach and you left that season. Okay, they're in good hands right now.
Speaking about Duke, my God, man, that game was,
Yeah,
I was watching the game, and it was I don't know. It was whatever it was in the first half. I got this game's over.
Oh no, that looked like
it was 20 points.
20. And so it's funny because it was like 24-18, and then it was 8 or 19. You know what I mean? So they won, but and I turned it off. And then
you missed a hell of a finish.
Well, you know what? I actually watched. It was on last night. I watched the replay.
Oh yeah.
No,
listen, and again, I feel bad because one of the boozers made a pass, and, and so everybody said he should have held on to it. He's a really good free throw shooter. He was 6 for 6 in the game and didn't get it up quite high enough, and it set up for a game-winning 35-foot 3-point shot. Anyway, hey, let's get into this other stuff. John Eric Sullivan, Jeff Halfley, we're just talking about this, Bo, a
Yeah.
little bit, teasing it. The message, I find these two guys, again, got to bring up history a little bit here, but it's just refreshing to have two guys
Because you just can't let it go.
because they're straight shooters.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's all.
I
wasn't getting into anything.
They
They get out in front. No, you two are looking. I'm not trying to stir it up today. I'm just saying it's refreshing. By the way, they're on the same page.
Yeah.
One's clearly going to be the coach, and the other one's going to have final decision and put this thing together and understands.
So you talking about the comment that I think was Halfley made. He said, like, look, guys, if it's 110 outside or whatever it is, we're going to be out there sweating, and and if you don't want to do it, he says, look, he goes, you got a air conditioning building in there that you can recover, whatever. So meaning that, hey, the way I took it is get ready because we're gonna have a tough training camp, and we're gonna work hard, and I mean you can say that.
He says it's not going to be for everybody,
but I tend to believe. I've said this about both of them. Anybody that says they know what's going to happen with them doesn't know what they're talking about. They're both. They got a first-time general manager. You got a first-time head coach. They could go sideways. They could be a Hall of Fame tandem down the road. But no one knows until they get out and you start to see the product. But the way that they're talking, the way that they came out, you feel like this is going to be a little bit of an old school, more disciplined type of football team, and not just saying so. The conversation when Mike was here was like, oh yeah, we're a tough football team, and then you find out no, you weren't a very tough football team. You can say you're a good tough football team. You can imagine you're a good football team, a tough football team. But when you got players that that are half in, half out, and kind of trying to set their own rules, that doesn't work. And I don't think these guys are going to be that kind of tandem.
Jeff Halfley made it clear. I don't know who asked the question, but he went on about being late ain't happening.
Yeah.
He goes, that being late, I don't. He didn't want to get into the past. We do that, but they made that point. The other thing I thought was interesting, guys. And listen, I've been telling people, hey, it ain't going to happen this year, but at least we can see if our quarterback can play. We can get some good young players. You can feel good going into the next year. We're going to have a lot of money. But, hey, man, I don't have high expectations if you're asking me on how many wins we're going to have.
You know what? For me, I don't care how many wins they get. I don't this year. Look, you're sitting here with what, like 40 some odd.
If they have one win, you'll care, right?
Well, yeah, I don't. You don't. I don't. Look, I don't want it to be a trash. I don't want it to be a dumpster fire. But the point being, you're going in with in a situation where you've got a quarterback that they believe if it could, because look, no one knows like Malik Willis like those two guys do, and especially Halfley. So if they're, but look. It's not like they're paying him, for the top 10 quarterback money. He's down in the bottom quarter from a money standpoint. But obviously, they believe if they're staking their
here's what I think we all like about them. They're strong and convicted and aggressive in a refreshing way.
Yes.
Right? This is all different, and it's the way it sounds like the way it should be.
But there's two things that they've got. That's the coach. And then when you go to the general manager, he said, you got all these guys on minimum contracts, like 40 some odd guys, whatever that number is. And so you can see what they're doing. They're flushing out all the deadwood, trying to flush out all those contracts, get as much draft capital as they can over the next couple of years and build it from the ground up, hoping that maybe the guys that they drafted last year, the top 4 guys, or those, the guard, the two defensive tackles, and the guy you drafted 2 years ago to be an edge rusher, hope that they come into their own and become the players you expect them to be, to give you at least a base where you can win some of those, some games. But I don't think, look, the goal is always going to be winning when you step on the field. But I don't think that's the end goal for this. I think their goal is, let's build this and build it the right way. And they've said time and time again, I've heard them say, you know what, we believe in building building a team from the line of scrimmage out, and I fully believe in that.
Well, it's because they get asked and well, look at our roster right now. I go, hey, I understand the roster right now is not, but we got to find out, number one, if Malik Willis can play. They got to get some players around him. They know that they're gonna. I think they're gonna draft a top guy on the offensive line. I do. I think probably going to be 2, maybe 3 guys in this draft that they draft on the offensive line, and they got to go get a receiver. And that wide receiver is going to be an important one early in the draft. I don't know how early. They got 2 first-round picks and, of course, 43rd pick in the second round as well. And then I thought it was interesting, the Chop Robinson stuff. And, Bo, I thought of you because he said, I can't wait to work with him. Look, it's no secret. He didn't have a great year in his 15 games with, I think, 10 or 11 solo tackles and 4 sacks. But he said, I want to work with him. I look at those guys probably worked him out and know about him from when they were at Green Bay.
Yeah.
Got that, and he brought how fast he is off the ball. And I said, I said this on there. I said, yeah, we know he's fast off the ball. It's what he does when he gets.
It always reminds you. Look, I did the book with Jimmy Johnson. He would talk about, there was a guy Wannstedt wanted to draft, and Jimmy said, we aren't taking him. Why?
Yeah.
Look at his speed. Look at that. No production.
Yeah.
No production. And that's you know.
Well,
so those guys going to try to
that.
get something. A guy's going to try to get something out of him. This is a
you
big
have to.
year for him.
Yeah, no, look, he's there, and he's not
This
going
is year
anywhere.
3.
So
got guaranteed.
So the best thing you can do is get the best guy you can to go and help him. I think there's things he can do in the you know, it's funny because when he was playing his best, you know, that Calais was there and Tron Armstead were there, and both of those guys got him to widen out a little bit and put more pressure on that tackle. And then last year, he was kind of creeping in, you know.
He must have been coached to stay in.
Yeah.
I don't think he did that
I don't
on
see
his
because
own.
you know, like when he widened out, he made those tackles come out to him, and that gave him a 2-way go. You know, if you're tight, and he's got to get better at the run. But and look,
what about his hands,
and
Bo?
I think Chop.
What about his hands?
I think Chop as a person knows he has to get better, and I think he's going to work really hard.
Well, he hears everything because apparently Omar knows who follows everybody on everything, and he was saying, "Oh no, he's not happy a lot of stuff." Hey man, if you don't like it, I agree. Go out and let it motivate you, man.
Produce, man.
Let it absolutely motivate you.
And I don't know what is, you know, I don't know if he falls in the Reuben Bain or short, you know, arms are too short. I don't know if I haven't heard that. I don't know what his arm length is, but he is a little in from the run game. I think the pass rushing game, you could probably make him better. It's going to be, you know, the other side, the run game side is a little bit different because you get these big 300-pounders pushing you down the field, and if you're an outside guy trying to come in and play the inside run, you know, you're not playing against a 230-pound, 240-pound tight end now. Now you're in with the big boys.
Yeah. Maybe we should be talking about Reuben Bain's arm length, and maybe he'd fall. You know, this is creating a.
By the way, you know what Reuben Bain? What they rave about Reuben Bain's really good against the run. He actually played a lot of defensive
he's good against
tackle.
everything, right? I mean, he's a wrecker. He
puts up numbers
record.
though. They have numbers to work off
of
him. And by the way, in all the biggest games, he was at his best. Right? We got to go to break here real quickly here. When I got you guys, I do it on my own. We run a little bit late here. But our boss not up for 2 hours. We're good. Hey, I got to tell you right now, man, we got a lot of stuff going on. Marlins baseball, 5-1 start for the Marlins. How about that, man? 10-0 win. Sandy Alcantara getting it going. They're on their way up. Today they're off, and we'll be playing the Yankees in a 3-game series in New York. And then they're going to be coming home, the Fighting Fish. Man, nice start for them. They'll face the Cincinnati Reds coming up April 6th through the 9th, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Enjoy Bark at the Park. I didn't realize how much everybody likes taking their dog to a baseball game, man. Bark at the Park, sponsored by Tito's Homemade Vodka. The 4 for $44 presented by Pepsi. It's a great one, man. It's the best deal they've got going by far. Grab the family, get your tickets, get all that great food. 4 for $44. You get ticket, food, beverage, deal for $4 and more. Get tickets now at marlins.com/tickets. Marlins baseball will be back next week.
WQA.
Hey, welcome back, and good morning to everybody. This is always a special day. Kimbo Camper's with us. Dave Hyde's with us. Woody's got the day off, and all day Dan Day.
All day, all night, Dan Day.
I got to tell you, man, he's a little bit like the Marlins bullpen. You can always count on him.
Yeah.
Just like that Marlins bullpen. How about that start? I don't care who you're playing. White Sox, Rockies, boy, they look good. Just especially got the bats going last couple of days. So many great stories. Sandy Alcantara gets a complete game. Was not talk about things I wasn't expecting to see a guy early in the season in a second start.
He was upset after the first one. I was out there for the first one. He threw 73 pitches and was taken out, and he was upset that I wanted to finish. I wanted to. So 93 pitches for a complete game. That's like I would have been curious if somebody got on. Did they have some? Okay, you're going back out there.
3 hits, 7 strikeouts, and a shutout right off the bat. And then the story, of course, the Canadians. Man, I didn't even know they played a lot of baseball up there. Hell, we're finding out their basketball team's pretty good too. But Liam Hicks, 3 home runs, 12 RBI, leads Major League Baseball. Owen Casey, the rookie, part of that Cubs deal, getting rid of Cabrera, one of your top pitchers from a year ago. He's off to a great start. So
they're 1-2 in RBIs in the league right now.
Are they really?
Yeah,
Both?
which shocking that any Marlin is, but much less. 2 of them. One was really making it. Both of them are really making major league starts.
Too bad we have 156 games
left.
left.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You feel, hell, I got a really good team. Let's see 50 games in where you are.
Well, you know what I feel like that.
So like 50 games in is just still the start of the season, right?
Yeah,
it's sort of comparing back to the Dolphins. The Dolphins are really like through their first homestand as far as the season right now. Here comes the test. Will be the draft.
Yeah.
We know they got to hit on the draft or they're in trouble, and we've seen it before but they invested a lot. And what I love about John Eric Sullivan is he said, yeah, bring it on. This is all on me. He
does, man. He ain't doing that team stuff or sitting at breakfast saying we're laughing at you guys and all that, man. He is like, hey, this is on me. I'm in charge of it. Let's see how it goes. Same with Malik Willis. I brought him in. I believe in him. I think he's going to be really good.
I think the messaging from Malik Willis has been really good.
Yeah,
you see a lot of things about him, and you just the things. But you see, he's a worker. He just seems to be the right kind of guy.
I think his character has also come out, and they've seen it up close.
I was going to say they worked with him for 2 years, so they know him.
Days and bad
they
days.
know him better than any quarterback they're ever going to take.
Well,
right?
So look, you've seen him on the field, you've seen what he is in the huddle, you've seen what he is in the locker room. You've seen what he is in the meeting room. You've seen every aspect of that guy for 2 years. And so, if you're gonna dip your toe in the water, and they didn't hesitate.
No, they
said, right, let me.
No, they made up their mind a long
time ago. As soon as that window
time
opened
ago.
up, man.
Yes.
Really, the question was Malik Willis, what he wanted to do, because he could have gone to Arizona where they do have more talent.
Yeah,
they're running a similar offense.
But it may say something about Malik Willis. What he thinks about this group,
Yeah, it's just, hey man, I hope, and I think they will. I don't think hope. I know they know this. Just give him a chance to have success. That's all. And again, I'm with you, but I'm not worried about wins. Give him a chance to show all of us, and himself, that he can be a frontline quarterback. Give him guys to throw to. Give him time to throw and put in an offense that. That really allows him to have some success.
And look, as I said, I believe those. If these draft choices you had last year and 2 years ago, produce the way they should and get better, they got to get a lot better. All those guys, Savaianaya, it's got to get a lot better.
Oh, that whole draft.
I tell you what, if they could just be average players, that'd be nice. That'd be nice because they aren't right now.
You don't need to be a superstar. Right. But just don't be. Look, I believe Jonah last year. He was seeing things he had never seen, and you hope that this is a guy. And I think he's this kind of guy because I'd watch him on the sideline, and I'd see. You could see that it's important to him, right? And So go out there, look at all the things that you haven't seen, and try to figure it out. And get an offensive line coach to teach him. I thought Butch Berry was a great offensive line coach, but he needs a little more fundamental. And he's seen all these guys have seen a lot of snaps. A lot of snaps. And to me, if you're the value of a rookie year is if you're not playing your best, you've seen a lot of what you didn't do right, and you've got 6 to 8 months to figure it out.
We're going to find out right away if there's much value in that.
And guys, they're going to bring in some competition.
Oh, yeah.
So there'll be a Savannah backup plan if get somebody else, I think, on the other side. And I don't think they're sitting there waiting on Austin Jackson to see if he can stay healthy. I think they're going to get another tackle on the right side ready to go. And only be for him because of injury.
There's a couple of those guys out there in the draft that can play tackle guard, right? So if
there is a few guys,
if Austin's playing well there and you get one of those guys, okay, you make him a guard. If he's not, then you just drop him out there, and then but then you got a hole in that on that right side in the guard position.
I'm guessing they've had a chance. We always say all these things and we write and talk about all these things, and they must be driving in going, you don't think we friggin' seen that?
Duh. What do you
don't think we've seen the guy whiff and we didn't know at a crucial time, or he's getting pushed backwards?
The question is going to become, what player is there to make the most impact? Because they need everything. They need everything.
First pick, by the way, the first pick, because honestly, you're picking 11, you're going to have a lot of good players. You're going to have a chance to get actually out of some positions the top guy on your board.
Yeah.
And then the question is, which one do I want a guy that can give me 60, 70 catches right off the bat? Do I want a dominant little offensive lineman that can come in or a pass rusher?
Right. Well, I think you got 4 spots that you would take. Wide receiver.
Yeah.
Right. Cornerback still is a need.
Cover corners, man.
Edge rusher.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman that's versatile, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are primary needs for this team.
I wish
so. You're almost pretty much the team, right?
Yeah, exactly. but
those are the impact positions.
Dave, that's why we got a lot of picks in the first 3 rounds.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. So they could almost. Basically, who do we think is going to be a great player? More than
yes.
I know everybody says, well, we're going to take the best player available. They don't take the best player. This is a time you take the best player available.
I'm going to tell you. So you go to the cornerback position. I hope they get a Don McNeil with this draft. If they're going to go cornerback, get a Don McNeil. Right. I mean,
Mac was ready to go day one, man. Mac was, and I know when we look at all the first round picks, Bo, and you're part of that club, but Mac was good. And you saw it.
It's funny. Everybody I talked to from that era talks about, okay, who's the best player or best athlete? Don McNeil's name always comes up.
Don
Mac was the fastest guy on our team until Duke came along.
He slipped into that spot, and you almost didn't know he was there. It was so seamless when he came in.
He never said a word.
He was a
silent assassin, man. The guy never talked.
Yeah.
Good Christian guy. Ended up being a minister. I spent all that money going to counselors for marriages and stuff. I could have done it with him for free. I found out 4 or 5 guys were going to him.
Maybe that's why he didn't speak up around you, Joe.
You went to the Robert Jones ministry.
You got Sam Madison came.
You're a bad guy. You better not tell that story. You're a bad man.
No. Some things you got to keep in the.
You're a bad man, Dave.
I want to hear the story.
No, you don't. That's a part-time Christian club. You're a bad man, Kimbo. I hope Seth Levitt's not up right now. You're a bad guy. But it's funny he said that, man. I always think of, and by the way, Dwight was the second pick for us that year. We took Alabama guys. It was my draft,
and Dwight had to sit behind Mark Denard for a couple of years.
For one, and then fine, but yeah, so Mac lined up one. I'll never forget. I always say this. Steve Barkowski. I came home my first year, and Bart was the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons at the time. He said, "Geez, I never seen a guy that good." He goes, "He's unbelievable." So I couldn't wait to get home. Hey, Mac, Bart thinks you're really freaking good, man. But he was good, and he never just went about his business. And it drives me nuts when people in town. Oh, I wasn't that good. Remember what happened in the
Well, you
in
know,
that game against the Redskins
Yeah.
at the time.
you know what reminds me of who reminds me of him? Minka Fitzpatrick. Because I think when we got Minka and I saw him play, I go, oh man, this guy.
He was really
It took
good.
me like 2 plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was ready to go.
Okay. This guy's really. I'll never forget. We're up in. I know we were either in Tampa or in Jacksonville, and it's his first game. You know, it's a first preseason game, and they run a little route out there, and the quarterback pumps, and he bites the cheese a little bit, throws the ball right over the guy's head, and you know, and you look at Minka's, and you could see him shaking his head. Guy tried another quarter later. The guy tried the same thing, and he picked it off.
Yeah.
Fool me once, but you're not going to fool me twice.
Yeah.
And then that was so to me. He was that
He
other
was
guy.
really good his first year.
And then all the crap that's gone on. It just, you know, I mean, look, he'd been to 5 Pro Bowls.
I was going to
all
say
pros. I mean,
they
did pretty well in Pittsburgh.
It was sort of the Roberto Luongo trade
Yeah.
where for his prime years
Yeah,
he
right.
wasn't here. They got him at the start
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
finish,
right.
but when he was great, his great.
Yeah, you
now,
didn't get the
Luongo
great,
was
yeah,
great here
yeah.
for
It
at
is-
the end.
It
too.
is funny when you talk about what you want your first round pick, and obviously, if you could ever line up and be as good as Don McNeil was,
Yeah.
first play in practice, whenever that was, and everybody went, "Holy crap, he's our best cover guy," and it's not even close. And he could play bump and run. He ran 4.3 40. There's a reason he went high in the draft. There's no question. Besides, they won a national championship. We got to go to break here, man. We got a lot of stuff. Malik Willis, man, I'll tell you what, they went all in on him, and they made sure everybody knew when they were there. Hey, man, we're not backing down on how good we think Malik Willis is, and those guys will all find out and see it up close. Right now, I want to tell you about what is going on at your South Florida Chevy dealers. Yeah, I'm driving that Tahoe, and I love my Tahoe. It's a lot of room for one guy that's by himself a lot here. But I got to tell you, whether it's a Corvette, Suburbans, Tahoes, Traverse, Equinox, over to the truck family, like a Silverado 1500, maybe the Silverado HD, maybe it's a Colorado truck. Whatever it is, man, we got something perfect for you. The best overall products we've ever had. It's not even close. So we're coming off Chevy Truck Month. It's over. But I want to let you know, man, the great deals are still there for you to get the truck that you're looking for. I got to tell you, we make a truck that's almost like it's custom made for your lifestyle, whether it's a full-time working truck, still needs to be a family truck, or it's still for fun on the weekends for the boats and the wave runners. Man, we got it for you. Visit your local South Florida Chevy dealers today for outstanding offers going on right now.
If you leave, you know what you'll miss.
And we are back. Good morning to everybody. Kim Bocamper, Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel. You guys both guest speakers at the Yacht Club.
Fort Lauderdale Yacht Club.
Fort Lauderdale Yacht Club.
We can't. I can't afford it like Jeff Darlington that can though. You know, he
I
belongs
got to
there.
tell you, whatever Jeff Darlington's doing, man. Hey,
I know where he's at right now. He's on his way to Augusta National to hang around the Masters.
Oh, you're right.
Next week.
Get going with that. And
so how did Jerry? He falls into golf. He's a football guy. Falls into golf.
think I'm doing.
Goes into Wimbledon. Goes
I tell you what, he's picked
tennis.
the two great events. I've covered Wimbledon. I've covered Masters.
Yeah.
Both of them multiple
Oh,
times,
no.
and those are two fun events to go to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've never been to Wimbledon, but the Masters.
Wimbledon.
Masters
If you're a tennis person,
yeah.
And I got.
Or if you're not like me, I mean, I'm a casual tennis, but you have you been to Wimbledon?
I did.
Oh, so you loved it then?
That was part. You got to negotiate trips with the wife when you're not a big touristy person going overseas. So I negotiate sports.
He went to Paris last week just so he could go.
She goes, I can't believe you're giving in on going to France. You're being so good about this and all the things I want to see. And I go, yeah, that's fine. And I go, but there's a certain time. Oh no, we'll go whenever you want. I'm just so excited. You really want to go? And I go, okay. Well, the French Open's this week. And I want to go full day too. Don't be doing that half-ass day. I want the whole day.
I tell you what, the Masters is magical. Right?
It is,
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just so many things.
Where's that rank, Bo? Of all the things, Masters right up there.
It's got to be on the top, and for a lot of
I know
reasons.
Mad Dog felt that way too.
First of all, when you're especially back in the day, the TVs made everything look flat. You know, now you got the high def, and you see a little bit. But even with the high def, the first time you walk into that space, and you go, oh my God, now and it's like hilly and
well, first when you walk in the doors,
yeah.
If you're walking in with a soda or a bottle, they take it. You're not allowed to carry any anything with an ad. They hand you a green Masters cup.
That's
and you have to pour the stuff into it.
So I remember that the first time we went in,
and then at the concession stands, everything is so cheap.
$1.25.
It's like out of the 1950s.
75 cents for a soda or something. But it's funny you say that. So when we first went, I think the first time I went, it was me, Brzezinski, and I forget a couple other guys, and
who'd you guys know to get those tickets?
We'd been out a little bit the night before, and so I've across the street where I went into a convenience store. I got like a Coke or something in a bottle, and just like that, we're going. He goes, "Hey, sir, you can't take that in." I go, "Why? I just bought it, and I still. He goes, "No, well, you just can't take it in." I go, "Okay, where do I throw it?" He goes, No. Gives me a green cup, pour it in green. Now you can go in.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, they have their own way of doing things.
There's zero advertisement in that.
Well, there's not a lot of advertising spots during that tournament. You get you watch it.
Yeah.
There's not much. Whoever the
but to me that was number one. I've never been to Wimbledon, but
no.
I will say I ruined it for a friend of mine who loves to watch the Masters. That the birds you hear.
Oh, those
are AI birds.
And I believe
really?
I believe they put a little food coloring in that water.
They very well could.
So I'll tell you. So we were there. We were the first time we were there. It was I think it was the year that it was either the year that Raymond Floyd won, or that Trevino was leading going into the last day or something.
Well, you're going back.
And anyway, yeah, it was way back there. And so we went and we sat on what's the 13. That part where
Amen corner there.
Yeah. So you play the par 3 and then you play the big dogleg par 5 that everyone goes for, and it race creeks around it and everything. And so we sit up in a booth and everyone's betting. We go, hey, let's bet on if they're going to go for it or not. And so the 3 or 4 of us, however much we had there, we thought we made up a new bet. Everybody in that stands was doing the same thing. So anyway, so Trevino comes by and he leads and he goes over to the 14th tee box, and there's no one else. So everyone starts filing out of the out of the stands to go over. And we're walking back, and I kind of look back, and there's some guy, and I'm looking at him, and he's crawled under the ropes, and was fishing balls out of Ray's Creek, right? And all of a sudden, it looked like it looked like the
Security.
Secret Service.
Yeah.
Grabbed him, took him out, took his badge. You'll
Done.
never get your badge. So, and the guy probably bought a badge from, because people, they sell half-day badges. I mean, the people that own them will sell half-day badge. You get it for the.
You'll never get it back then.
No, never get it
It's,
back.
it's the hardest
They
ticket.
cracked down.
It is the hardest ticket.
They have
yeah.
definitely cracked down
Yeah.
on that. But yeah, there's a lot of events, Bo. We gotta see here late in life, man. And Dave, we gotta.
I think you're going to go to
Make sure.
Australia at some point, Joe.
No, that's not
Too
going to
far.
happen. That's the only thing. And I would love to go. Kind of kicks off the whole tennis for majors, but I'm not going there.
So let me ask
forever.
you about that. NFL now. You got 2 teams opening the season in Australia.
Yes.
And I know they're going from California.
Rams and 49ers.
I know that's from California, but how long
They don't want to go. By the way, openly, one
Oh,
coach came out and
yeah.
said this. Shanahan goes, I don't want to go there.
And I read now with the new, if they're starting to negotiate maybe a new collective bargaining agreement. I think there's 8. They want to get.
They got 9 games. They want to get.
They
to
want every
16.
weekend,
They want to
basically
get to
every
16.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you
And
heard.
they want to believe that they're it's competitive. No, it's not.
Did you see the Dolphins? By the way, I see the San Francisco. They're reporting out there that the Dolphins will be playing the 49ers
In Mexico? This year.
Yeah, that Dolphins were rumored to be playing in Mexico. I didn't
Yeah.
know it was against 49ers.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Well, yeah.
You're against that. You're against that international play.
Well, you know what? I think that
You had a good time in Madrid. You ate the same Mexican restaurant like 4 nights in a row.
It wasn't.
I found a Mexican
You go to
restaurant.
a Mexican Madrid Mexican restaurant.
By the way, I got to
What
tell
am
you,
I
it was
missing
good
there?
because I hit it 3 of the nights with them.
So I was working.
This guy.
I was working, and so I come back one day, and usually we'd get back and we'd go to go up and drop our stuff off and where we end up at the bar, in the lobby bar, right?
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there. So
Every time.
So the one day I came late, and they had already been down there, and they'd gone to go wherever they were going to go to eat. And so I just said, oh, you know what? I don't want to walk around. I've been walking around. I wanted to. So I found a place like 2 blocks from the hotel, and I went, and it was a Michelin. It was like a Michelin mention, as the Michelin stars, a recommendation. And so I went there, and I go, oh my God, this is some of the best food I've ever had. So the next morning, I see Joe and Jimmy for breakfast, and they go, "What'd you do last night?" "Oh man, I went to this little Mexican place over here." He goes, "Oh, that sounds good." He goes, "You want to go again tonight?" I go, "Yeah, I'll go again tonight." So we go again.
It was good.
We go that night, and then the next day, same thing. You go, "Hey, let's go back." So I went 3 nights in a row. And Jimmy and Joe and I was
Hey, listen,
went
man,
3
I'm
times.
They want
like-
the Dolphins back there.
I'm like Bo, man.
And the Dolphins want to be back there.
Yeah, they like that
They-
Madrid
they
market.
They want to be.
They wouldn't mind
want-
that Barcelona Madrid
yeah,
market.
Yeah, they want that market.
We'll take Spain. I think Tom made that pretty clear.
Yeah.
Tom Garfinkel.
Yeah.
Hey, 8 o'clock hours coming up here, man. We've got a lot. Kim Bocamper with us. Dave Hyde with us. Well, people love the wild ass stories though with our team. Some of our best players were wild guys.
Yeah, which was yeah.
They were good. I mean, they were good on Sunday.
Yeah.
And we had some
Well,
dysfunctional guys who were really good.
And look, don't you think that 17-0 team wasn't dysfunctional?
No, they
to a
got great
degree?
stories.
Yeah.
No, those guys.
Well, there's a story at the Super Bowl in New Orleans before when they played Dallas. They lost one, but they all went into a burlesque show and they thought they were being picked up by women.
Oh no!
And they said there was almost a fight broke out in the burlesque show.
Yeah,
when they
we had,
realized they weren't women.
This wasn't a Super Bowl, but we had a little incident in New Orleans going.
Yeah,
there.
we did.
AJ was a little naive. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Looks can be deceptive when you get in a bedroom.
No, I didn't go that far.
No, I'm just saying it could be. All right. Hey, 8 o'clock hours coming up. Baptist Health, man. I got to tell you, what a great sports medicine program, from that story to the great work they do. One of the top sports medicine programs in the country. Bo's absolutely abused the Baptist Health South Florida family. Dr. Swartzen, I apologize. Listen, man, they've been great to all of us. They really have taken care of all of us. Yeah, people ask me all the time, where do the pros go? I go Inter Miami, the Heat, the Panthers, the Miami Dolphins, FIU, FAU, high school, college, and professional athletes from all over the country make their way to one of the top sports medicine programs we have. Man, it's hard to find anything better. When you get the specialists they put together, knee, shoulder, foot and ankle, hand, back, hip and knee replacement, Achilles. Speaking of knee, I got to tell you, you talk about doctors, when you shredded your knee, we've had a couple athletes in the last year that have had it real bad. And listen, the doctors at Baptist Health have just done a great job getting those guys back, and they're going to be ready to go for sports again. And with the great facilities they have, like Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables, at Hard Rock Stadium next to the training facility, 595 and Pine Island in Plantation, it's a great place to go for all of us. And, hey, you're going with doctors that have seen it and know how to fix it, and the great team doctors. Dr. Swartzen, thank you so much for everything you've done. Bo's abused it, but I got to tell you, man, we appreciate all the great work. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho. One goal every day. It's about getting you healthy, back out playing the sports you love the most.
What's up, football fans? Picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us, Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. Sandy Alcantara pitched a 3-hit complete game as the Marlins defeated the White Sox 10-0. The Fish, they play the Yankees in the Bronx tomorrow at 1:35. The Heat gave up 53 in the first quarter and lost to the Celtics 147-129. Panthers, they host the Boston Bruins tonight at 7. And the presumptive number 1 pick, Fernando Mendoza, dazzled at Indiana's Pro Day, while a man that many believe is the second best QB in the draft, Ty Simpson, interviewed with the Miami Dolphins this week. On to weather that is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping homeowners stay safe this storm season. Visit tornadoroofing.com for a free roof and window estimate. Really good chance of rain with temperatures in the high 70s. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my love. Love's going to leave me.
All right. Hey, welcome back. Kim Bocamper, Dave Hyde with us this morning. 23 days. The first round of the NFL draft. Can you actually 21 days. So Thursday night, 3 weeks from now.
23 more days of hearing where Ty Simpson's going to go. Is that, are you kidding me? What more can they invent on
I got to tell you,
Ty Simpson?
The NFL's got to be sitting back going, this Ty Simpson thing is so good for business. They got one guy, where's he going to go? And one guy's got him going early in the second, and everybody else got him going late in the first, and some are going, no, somebody's going to be in love with him and take him in the top 10.
It is a quarterback-driven event,
no
isn't
doubt.
it?
No,
We all know all the other guys, but it's
the whole NFL is quarterback-driven.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody's looking for one.
You could have 3 defensive guys that are probably probable Pro Bowlers, and when the first game starts, all they're talking about is a quarterback.
Yeah,
I don't care if you got a good quarterback. It's either he's a good quarterback or geez, we got a bad quarterback.
Look what we've talked about here. I mean, Tua talks to Atlanta reporters. Whoa, that's about us.
By the way, it wasn't just him, though. Remember Ryan Tannehill? I remember doing shows on Ryan Tannehill to the point he wouldn't talk to me either.
Yeah.
Can we get somebody finally where the elevator's going up on their career? Can we get one of those guys?
I'd like to. And the crazy thing about Tannehill and Tua, I was just thinking about this the other night. They had the same kind of personalities. Like, they were kind of introverts. Yeah. They weren't guys that.
But Tannehill knew enough to say nothing.
Yeah.
Tannehill didn't know enough.
Tannehill was the king of saying nothing. And who was the guy, Fiedler? So I feel really bad for Jay Fiedler, because I remember.
Well, his dad was around a lot.
I know. And his
dad was around the team a lot.
And look,
we all found out.
So I'm that's when I'm just starting to do stuff, and I'm going, so my take on him was always, well, I just think, look, they got him from Jacksonville. I don't think he's a starting quarterback. I just think he's a pretty good backup, and that was my, and I kind of, I got my take and I stood with it all the way through. And so we're somewhere in on the road and Ryan's dad's there. And I'm getting in the elevator. He gets in the elevator with me, and he says, "Hey,
Jay's dad, yeah,
Jay Fiedler, Jay Fiedler, yeah." He says, "Hey, you're tough on my boy." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well,
what do you mean?"
I said, "Well, you call him he's just a good backup quarterback." I said, "Mr. Fiedler, I've played with 2 quarterbacks in this league, Bob Greasy and Dan Marino. My bar is pretty high, And he goes. And he kind of goes, right. I didn't even say
he was
and he's no Marino or Greasy.
Jay's dad was a really good guy.
He was a good guy, and look, Jay was a good guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
we don't see him much anymore, but
I see him every now and then. I've seen him a couple times.
It would be nice to be around a Dolphin team where the coaches and the quarterbacks, you can say good things about them and mean it, where the elevator's going up on their careers. Instead, I feel like for the last 2 decades, 25 years, I've been standing in an elevator, like with Bo, going down. By
the way,
with good guys, good people. But,
when was the last time
Hey,
we got rid of a GM, a head coach, and a quarterback at the same time?
So let me ask you this. When was the last time a quarterback left the Dolphins and came back and was visible around? They just go away. Tannehill went away. Fiedler went away. I mean, they got beat up so bad they don't want to come back. You know.
Hey man,
And,
I always say,
look, throw Tua in that bunch. He ain't coming back. You know,
he
I don't see. I don't see him coming. You see him coming back for an alumni day? Hell no.
No, he won't be at any alumni functions. No.
That alumni picture is probably pretty thin all around.
You know what? It is funny. When we have these alumni, there are not a lot of young people. There are not a lot of young guys that come to those.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? But you know, the football now is a mercenary game. 3 years in, you know, let me get that contract and let me move. And so most of the guys that came back, you really didn't have much movement. You know, like even when they first started free agent,
true.
It was a very hard to move.
That's
guys.
true.
Now it's like every year.
But I will tell you, Bo, there are a lot of guys that haven't played well that don't come back. There are
No,
guys.
the other
There are
thing
guys
is,
that are aware of the
yeah.
fact that didn't play well.
Yes.
And listen, there's some guys in the old days that are still sensitive about what people say about him as first round picks. And it's like, hey man, it's over.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Most people don't even know.
Yeah.
Right. It's
it'd be nice to have somebody though, like Hall of Fame worthy, who would stick around. If somebody's that good, they're going to be here for most of their career because they're not going to let them go. And who's the last Dolphin? Cam Wake, maybe? Who is you would think
Richmond Webb?
By the way,
before that,
Cam Wake, one of the great disappearing acts
Yeah,
of
he,
all time.
when
he said he was done,
right.
he was done, and he wasn't bad with us. He was pretty good.
No.
Sometimes he talk but he was private.
I had a pretty good relationship with Cam. We did a lot of stuff with CBS. You know, we did some features on him, and we went down to the Fontainebleau and worked out in their gym and did stuff like that. And so I got to be a pretty good, you know, I'm not friendly with him, but I mean, you know, he'd see me and we'd talk and this and that. But boy, when he was done, he was done. I mean, like a puff of smoke, man.
But like Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas. I mean, the point is, I guess it's been like a lost 15 years for the Dolphins almost, where there's nobody is.
I think a lot of it ties into what we talk about.
Yeah,
man. This all goes back to
winning,
doing a lot of losing.
Yeah.
A lot of losing.
You have a regime come in here that goes that's here for 10 years. That's in the playoffs 8 out of 10 years, you know, gets to an AFC championship even. Then they're going to
just wins a playoff. There'll be a parade on Biscayne Boulevard.
How about the team? How about the first coach who wins a playoff game?
Well, I'll tell you what. Remember,
you're laughing.
No, I am because that's where the bar is. That's where the bar is.
When we first opened up our first restaurant Plantation, that was Tony Sperano's year. Remember, they went to playoffs that year.
Yep.
You would have thought. So he came over to the restaurant we did a rally, like we did a pep rally, right? And people were in the rafters, right? And you know, and then you lose, and then never won again. I don't think after that.
No,
that's the thing. For as big as the Dolphins are, it's still like in hibernation.
Yeah.
Because nobody's won.
Yeah.
I always tell the Patriots writers, yeah, you guys are writing books about your team, and we're writing obituaries.
Hey, I think fans are very knowledgeable about where everybody stands. They know the Buffalo's got a quarterback. They know New England's got a young franchise quarterback, and we've got to find that guy. I know we got to upgrade the whole roster, but we got to. I hope Malik Willis is the guy.
So I know a lot of guys. Look, I know a lot of guys that, you know, I got some guys that I know that have been fans for a long time, and whatever move they make, I get a text. Hey, how do you like it? You like it? I like it. You know, and so, you know, I'm going to tell you, at the end of this season, I was disgusted. I was absolutely disgusted with the product that we put on the field last year. Right now it's what? How many months out? 3 months out afterwards. Yeah. I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to you know, you go from being in the doldrums to you go, well, you know, I think we got a chance this year to do something. And look, my chance now is just to get a team that's going to play good football, play fundamental football, and be tough. And I, you know, I'm projecting with this new regime that's what we're going to see. You know, and
Well,
What you want to see is almost Brian Flores' first year.
Yeah,
You know, because
yeah.
they're going to be young, not super talented, at least as far as ready to win.
He had high expectations on the team, and that didn't jive with the
Well,
philosophy.
and that was part of all the problems around.
That's one of the
here,
greatest
right?
coaching jobs of all time.
Absolutely.
Brian Flores getting what he get 7 wins that year. I think he got 7 wins, and they
No,
went
yeah,
overtime or close to overtime in 2 games. They lost. He coached his ass off after that start. They got killed the first couple of games.
So that he came into a team that was the most penalized team in the league, I believe, and he came out with the least penalized, one of the least penalized teams in the league, and they were a disciplined team, and they were I think he was a little too tough on everybody. I don't think he was too tough on everybody. Everyone else thinks he was too tough on everybody, but
he made one great decision that turned that thing around. Josh Rosen ain't playing again.
Yeah. Yeah,
he made another decision when Steve Ross came to him and asked him to take some money to lose, and he said, "No."
Is that true?
Yes.
Is that for sure?
Yes, it was in the NFL report. Now,
so
Steve Ross.
That's still in the courts, right? Or
well, his I don't know if that's in the courts or the whole discrimination
Rooney
against,
Rule deal.
Yeah, is in the courts.
Maybe $100,000 to lose.
Yeah,
but look at what he's done. Look at what he's done in his career. I mean, he's sitting right there. You know, he's a fucking defensive coordinator, and probably going to be a head coach again. I would assume.
We'll see. We'll see how the owners feel.
We'll see how that. Let's see how
before you go there. Let's see how.
But the Dolphins made 2 bad choices in that season. One is Ryan Fitzpatrick, and the other is Brian Flores. You don't get a coach like that if you want. So what I love about these guys are on the same page. They're sounding in lockstep of the plan.
Yeah.
And we'll see how the plan works out now.
Let's take a step back from that. For the first time in a long time, ownership did it in the right order.
Yes.
True. They did it in the right order.
Yeah.
They really did.
They cleaned house and they brought in the best personnel guys.
And by the way, it didn't just stop with those 3 guys. They didn't go, okay, but we need you to keep this guy and that guy. Yeah. They said, hey, however you feel about Tua, you can do a.
Yeah.
And so anyway, here we are, man. And first draft coming up. It's a big one, 11 and 30 and 43.
What would you expect about Tua in Atlanta this year? He's going to get to start, right?
Probably going to start.
Yeah. Probably going to start the beginning of the season.
There's the question, isn't it? Isn't that a great? I will say there's a fear factor of Dolphin fans that, oh my God, what?
Not for me. I don't care how.
I saw enough.
I don't care.
I've seen enough.
And I'm expecting people to go, how do you feel now of all the things you said about him?
We saw enough. But he's in a good situation. For him, he's in the best possible situation.
What I would like to see,
2,000-yard guy behind him.
What I would like to see from him is to do a lot of off-season work and go to Atlanta and try to have a season where I'm going to show you, what I can do. I don't know if that's in his DNA. It's going to take a lot of work.
It was when Mike came in to show Brian Flores. Remember some of his comments?
Yeah.
I thought I sucked, because but is there anything in the tank? It would be physically.
Well,
he
got
capable.
A good offense.
Oh, it's a perfect situation.
Got 2,000-yard guy.
Dome stadium, great runner, great receivers, good offensive line. I mean, he couldn't have a better situation.
But he's got both. He's got both things he needs to figure out mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Right.
And
the physical.
Well, he's not going to be a better runner.
No, he's not going to be a better runner. But you know what? To me,
change.
Go better. Look, he went from. He always had a problem, Okay, the first you're getting too many injuries. Okay, so he bulked up a little bit to be able to sustain the pounding that you get, and that kind of didn't go right. And then he tried to go lean again. It was kind of never found that sweet spot from a conditioning and the way he looked. And then things just fell apart.
I think the other problem he ran into is they sat down, the GM and head coach, and said, you need to stay healthy. And he got gun shy. He was dropping in the pocket. He slid way short of a first down. He was killing plays.
Well, I'd imagine doctors were telling him the same thing too.
But they wanted him to stay healthy. Like, hey, if you don't get on third down, throw it away. Don't take a chance. You don't have to run for a first down. And he played that way.
The big question in Atlanta to me is how much will they tailor their offense
around
to him?
Yeah.
To that quick 2 seconds pass to we're not going to let you stand in the pocket and get hit. I mean,
I think that's what they're going to do.
They'll have to, but
they're aware of all the problems aren't going away. They're still there.
Well, when they say he's going to compete for the job with,
I don't think he is. I think he's going to be.
Well,
by
the other
himself.
guy's hurt. The other guy's hurt, but will they change their offense to help him, or is it something the other guy can slip into too? So, that's what I'm curious to see.
I know the other guy's banged up all the time too.
All the time.
That's a problem. Hey, we've got a lot more stuff here. Too bad we have to go to these breaks, man, because we got a lot of stuff going on here. My gosh, and some good news from last night, some bad news from last night.
You have a format for this show, Joey? You just kind of throw stuff out there.
We did, but then you came in, and it's like free form now.
I want to tell you,
you have all these stories.
I love you to death, but it's hard. It's hard with the three of us to have any kind of format. I just told Jamie, he goes, just let it rip, man. Let's freelance it. Freelance Thursday, brothers. Hey, I want to talk to all the guys out there that may be going through some hard times in their life right now. It happens. Talk so much about mental health issues for guys and highs and lows, and sometimes you just get off the road and you can't get back on by yourself, man. You're trying, and all of a sudden you got a little addiction to some kind of problem out there they're going through, and you just need some help. Recovery Unplugged and Dr. Barry and the staff would sure like to help you, and they're really good at it, boy. Recovery Unplugged Behavioral Health is here to help you with a beautiful mental health residential program right here in Fort Lauderdale. They've helped over 20,000 people nationwide with expert care, music-based healing, innovative treatments like ketamine therapy for depression, anxiety, and trauma. Make this the year you put yourself first. Call 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplugged.com. New year, new you. Recovery Unplugged. Heal out loud.
Let's go. Time me up.
Hey, welcome back, and good morning to everybody. Well, I'll tell you what, Boston sent out a little message last night to the Miami Heat that we're a lot better than you are. Beat them again, 10 straight wins in Miami for that group, and Jason Tatum, triple-double. And I got to tell you, Jaylen Brown is one of the best stories in the NBA. 43 points last night. They get their 51st win of the season. And of course, the Heat headed for the play-in position. Now the question is, which one? Is it going to be a 2 wins and go from a 9 or 10 spot? Or are they going to get up to a 7 or 8 spot? But it was on national TV last night, and it wasn't pretty. Celtics shot 58% from the field in the game and scored 80 points in the first half.
There's no pretending for the Heat anymore. When in the past week, team 53 points in the first quarter, then teams have put up 81, 77, and 79 on them in the first half. It's for a franchise that really its mission statement is defense. Part of it is working hard in defense, and you don't see any defense from them.
That was an example of the good and the bad. Is you go, hey, we scored 129 points, but we lost by 28.
We had 40. We made 24 threes.
Yeah,
but it didn't matter.
Now that was a bad. That was an 18. Ends up being 18-point loss last night, but it was. Look, they made a run at them, but they're so far down, and it's just again against a really good team. That's one of the best stories, if not the best story in the NBA.
Look out Eastern Conference, because here comes Boston. I mean, Boston looks like the team to beat right
Detroit's
now.
doing. I tell you what, Detroit's played really well without their number one guy out with a collapsed lung. You think he got the collapsed lung thing going? And so anyway, that was last night. So they're at the 10 spot right now with 5 games left to go, and they just got a lot of good players. Sounds familiar.
No, they do. Yeah,
they have a lot of guys. One good player, Bam, and just average across.
You're going average.
Yeah, I'm. Look, when Tyler Hero any night offensively, he can be great.
Yeah.
But when he gives, you saw what Jaylen Brown did to him.
Yeah.
Last night.
And by the way, they bring it up. The national media announcers bring it up every time. Doris was all over it last night. Like, oh, they're going after Tyler's defense.
Yeah, and no, it's every game against great player, he's going to give up whatever he could get offensively. He's going to give it up on the defensive end.
Anyway, you got that story. Then that other one with baseball. I only had about 6,000 at the game yesterday.
Did you see Sandy Alcantara mention that in his post-game interview?
No.
He said, well, the fans aren't coming out yet, but we still love you, you know. But
well, look, I mean, you've been teased a couple times, but this town.
I want to hear how you say this, Bo. I don't know if they're coming back, no matter how well they play.
I think if you're playing well and you're putting a good product on the field, it's. But I think from a baseball standpoint, like I've kind of drifted a little bit away from baseball, and I couldn't name, more than a handful of guys on that baseball team. In some way, you got to get these fans to buy into the team and the biggest way to do it, and the easiest way, not the easiest way, probably the hardest way to do it, is to win games and keep yourself in the hunt. And at some point, they're going to wake up, hey, man, we got a pretty good baseball team down here, and there's not a lot of people going, so I'm going to go in and get in there while the getting's good.
Part of the problem in baseball is the teams that spend the money are usually the best teams.
Yeah, that's it.
And you got some teams in your own division, although it hadn't worked for the Mets, and they spend next to the Dodgers, they spend as much as anybody. And I just don't. We'll see how it goes, and you got a lot of guys like one of their best players is Owen Casey, who's a rookie, and a lot of people had to be educated how we got him, where'd he come from, and it was a Cabrera trade. We had to give away one of our best starting pitchers.
But you look at, we talked about the Dolphin plan a lot. You look at the Marlins plan, and it's working. If no one wants to pay much attention, but when Peter Bendix came in 2 years ago, they were the 29th or 30th ranked minor league team by all the baseball publications. Now they're 8th or 10th because of the talent they've got. So it's working. Now it's going to come down to, we know their big plan is after this season, the collective bargain agreement's over, and a lot of owners Bruce Sherman's on the executive council. He hasn't talked about them. You just assume
You know,
he wants a salary.
you know
cap.
what he wants.
He wants a salary, a ceiling, a floor, and a ceiling.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they go out and they get a few free agents, and with this young talent.
Well, it's a good start. I won't.
I like
5-1.
plan.
So you
We'll
so
see.
you look at the you know when Wayne had it. Wayne was a buy. Let me buy a baseball team. Let me buy a baseball team that's going to win. They bring in Jim Leland. They do all this stuff, and they bring in a bunch of great players. And I know you remember this. There was that Yankees series after they had won. I think it was after they won the World Series. They had a big Yankee series, and there were empty seats in the house. And Wayne said, "I'm done. I'm done spending money if the fans aren't going to come and watch this product that's been playing really good
Yeah,
baseball."
he put to
and then you move the franchise.
Well, he won
and-
the World Series, and he said, "I'm done because
Right.
I didn't make money." He actually
well-
remember he had he had a meeting with Al Leiter, Gary Sheffield, and he said, "Look, I'm losing $20 million. If you want to split it with me, I'll lose 10.
Yeah.
You guys split it up." And you that was
but
they go, that ain't happening.
That happening.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen.
But you still had a minor league that had like Cabrera and all these guys. And I'll look at all the guys that have been here, that came here as rookies and have become superstars.
They
managers. Guys are managers.
They drafted some great pitchers
Great, yeah.
in early rounds. They did a good job of some guys who could throw it.
If this current regime, starting with Jeter was awful. Okay,
Yeah,
but if they made one mistake, it's when they had this great outfield. If not trying to win with that, going out and get some pitching.
You talking about with Yelich?
Yeah, Yelich and
Ozuna
and
Stanton.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah.
Or they had a chance to
Back when he was
win.
Mike Stanton.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
went
I
to
was
that
trying to
game.
remember
You
what
went to
name.
that game. He had 60 home runs. You go to that games, they were empty.
Yeah. No.
And that was the best offensive baseball in baseball, that outfield. That
So
thing-
so let me ask this: Does because where the stadium is that a little bit of a
don't know.
turn? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But
had they taken that stadium and put it right next to the Heat Arena, Bayfront Park, that whatever that piece of property was there?
well, it would have been a lot. Yeah, it would have been beautiful, but that wasn't going to happen. That was a dream.
I still think look, when Key Biscayne Tennis moved to the Hard Rock Stadium,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they've ruined the event.
Yeah.
And you know what? It tripled in
Yeah.
attendance
Yeah.
the first year. So I think there is you're cutting off population now. That doesn't for baseball. Now it doesn't explain how you go second game of the year after you've won a Saturday night. You
Well,
have 10,000.
Well, first of all, the city and the county gives you a new baseball stadium.
No, I get they took
Whoa,
the
whoa,
money.
wait.
They took the money.
But and if you remember opening day, New Marlins Park, whatever it was called back then, which I think was Marlins Park, and in like the seventh inning they ran out of hot dogs. That's a snapshot of the Marlins, right?
Well, the other
freaking
snapshot.
snapshot. You got
opening
you got
day-
a brand new stadium. Everyone, in your third inning, can I get out now? We ran out. Sorry.
The other opening day,
Go to Publix.
you have a dome, retractable dome.
Right.
It rains.
It rains, and you don't close it. Right? But so
That
it's
was
all,
funny.
all that bizarre.
That was a bad
all
one.
that,
That
all
was
that
bad.
bizarre stuff that went on. Once you got that stadium, that there was given to them.
It was given to him. There's no question about that. That was was that a little clean, a little dirty, a little dirty.
I think all these deals, we
I
mean, we
little
could
dirty.
anything involving
Lurie
public
and
money.
David
We're not
Sampson,
going to have a vote on this. It's done, all right, and you'll like it.
That Lurie and David Sampson combo, a little shady.
Yeah.
Right?
Boy, I was waiting for that name to be brought up about 25 minutes ago.
I will
can't
say this:
believe it.
from their stamp, they needed a stadium and they got the stadium
did.
deal.
Look, they
So
did.
David
I mean,
Sampson did his job.
He did
Yeah,
his
they
job.
did.
may not be happy.
No doubt.
Maybe a little fibs from here and there, but the guy got it down, man. He got it done, no question about it. All right, hey, we got more stuff to get to here besides baseball, and Marlins off to a nice 5-1 start with that 10-0 win yesterday. The Canadians are back and playing really well. Man, it's amazing. A lot of great stories. All right, we've got more stuff to get to here, but first I want to talk about Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage for just a second here. When you talk about Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage, Talk about getting you approved quickly. Debt consolidation, need cash. Let me see. HOA costs, insurance, Verizon, all this stuff. All of a sudden, you thought you were in great shape for retirement in that condo, and you're going, holy smokes, I'm in bad shape here, man. I got some serious debt problems. What am I going to do? You call Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage. Let him get that second mortgage for you. Let him get that thing all taken care of, get you back. By the way, I really recommend one of the things Michael Kotze does is that reverse mortgage. If you and your spouse are 62 or older, you qualify. Got all that equity in your home you built up over all the years you've lived there, either paying your home off or almost paying it off. Hey, you could use that money to really take care of yourself, get a clean start, maybe take a nice vacation for the first time. First-time homebuyer programs, a little money down, he does that too. Michael Kotze's put together a lot of great programs, always going to get you the best rates and can get you approved quickly. So whatever you're going through and you need that money, debt consolidation of any kind, Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage truly has no life. He works 7 days a week. You can call or text him 561-441-2730. That's 561-441-2730, MLS 166254. Rates and terms subject to change, daily without notice. He's an equal housing lender with 30 years in the business.
WQAM broadcasting live from the
Of sports here on a Thursday morning. Kimbo Kemper, Dave Hyde, all day Dan Day, and now I got to tell you, Jamie's back in the studio today. I share all his stuff. He's a swiping, and Bo, I tell you what, he would have fit in with our guys. He was relentless.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize.
Oh no, he'll go and a girl will blow him off, and it doesn't affect him.
He cannot be knocked down. He can't be stopped.
Get back up and just gets right back up and get back into the game.
And now
like a boxer,
he's doing something.
Put a little water in my
that one I
face and
just
I'm
showed
back.
you though.
She's beautiful.
He's doing a little cross-pollination of South Florida ideas here.
But
right?
here's the problem.
I think she might be a little heavy in the south of the border.
No, I don't think she is. I don't think
cut
that.
it off right at the
No,
right
Come on,
spot.
Kim. She was a good-looking girl.
She had a nice figure. No.
There might be a communication problem here.
But she only speaks Spanish and he only speaks English.
Maybe sometimes that's good.
It's a language of love, I guess it's going to be, right, Jamie?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a big body language night, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you even think that will work? I mean,
I don't know. We've been texting back and forth, and I guess Apple, new thing, if she texts in Spanish, but it comes translated.
Oh yeah, you can.
I can see her Spanish text, and
so you can do the same.
I've been texting her in English, and it must show up in Spanish for her.
You get in a translating app on your phone, and you could talk back and forth.
Boy, what a night that'll be. Hold on a second. Let me get this.
You talk in English, and it comes out in Spanish, and vice versa.
I'm out every night, and I see guys and girls sitting in booths just looking back and forth with each other's phone. And I'm like, oh, there's a language barrier.
Yeah,
you have seen that?
Oh, yeah. And I ask the guy, usually it's the guy I know, and I'm like, what's the deal? Is she only a Spanish speaker? He's like, yeah, so we just talk into our phones and show each other our phones.
You know, the new Apple earbuds, they just translate. You could just talk and it translates.
Boy,
I don't know how they do it.
I don't know, Bo. That's a lot of damn work, though, man. I mean, she better
when
look really
you're as
good.
hard up as Jamie is, you gotta reach, man.
What are you trying to say?
He's gone through the whole English language women down here now. Is that what you're saying?
And by the way, this is going to be a little 954 going down to 305. She's a date girl.
Yeah, she lives down there. It's going to be
a
far.
lot of competition down there, Jamie.
Bo, where should I take her? Your
Show
place?
her the studio, Jamie. Show her the studio, you know?
Yeah, you know what? Just go all out. Tell her, hey, I own this. This is my radio
Tell her
station.
your name's Joe Rose. You have your own show.
I got my own show every Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. Catch me.
By the way, we got the couch in the back. And
look at this. I hired this guy, Dan Day, all day. He's always in the studio.
Yeah.
So,
he might be here working that night
I don't
anyway.
know, but I'm thinking about getting rid of him. He's not doing a good job.
Yeah, right.
And I'll act all scared and nervous. And like, oh.
Is there anything I can do for you, Jamie, while you're here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would advise you don't go in there with that Dolphin sweatshirt hoodie on.
I'll probably wear something a little bit
something
nicer.
more contemporary than that.
I got to tell you, though, well, you guys
why don't you get one of those
why are you busting his chops?
Why don't you get one of those silk shirts?
He's been very
silk
open.
shirts and have it buttoned down to about one button above your belly button.
I'll hire you as my stylist.
He hasn't shut it down yet, has he? You know, like at some point you just close your personal life. No, I'm going to talk. Well, you know, it'll be serious when we can't talk about it anymore, right?
Okay.
Omar, I got to tell you, Omar comes in
Oh,
here.
Omar
is open, man.
It's very
He's
healthy,
open,
probably. Way to.
The worst thing you could say on this show is I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, you're done. By the way, that's like in a locker room, man. We used to have a locker room, and guys were brutal, man. They see you with the girl the night before. We go to September's, and one night I was in September's, and this girl, and Bo knows who she is because she's still around. She's beautiful, and a beautiful girl. And we're sitting there, and I probably hit her with after a few drinks. Hey, I think I'm falling in love with you. I just met you, but I really, anyway. So I was hanging out with her, and so I go back, and I'll never forget. Doug Betters goes, "Hey, you've been with, and I go, "Yeah, how do you know her name?" He goes, well, like 5 guys on the team been with her. And I was like,
you guys got the whole world of the football team. You got all South Florida in your
By the way, we had guys that, and the other thing I always told Bo was always amazing. We'd have guys fight. We had Dave Broward in Palm Beach County. We're the only professional team when we were playing. And we had guys that fight over the same girl. And always, I've broken up one in front of September's one night, 2 guys arguing about the same girl. And I was like, isn't there enough girls that there's a whole bunch of girls that look like this one does? Why the fight over the same girl, Bo? I never understood that.
Probably because where we go is we would go to places where they give us free liquor. So So you're always going to be around.
There's a starting point.
Both your all-time favorite place in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And you were tight with Mr. Laughs, very tight with Clint. Clint, love Clint.
It would probably be Mr. Laughs, or it would be like September's was. Remember when September's opened?
Love September.
It was like they had that full band, they had a big band up there. It was Roland.
Roland
built that place.
Well, there was a Roland, but Roland did run that.
But it was first. So I met Roland on Oakland Park.
Roland's still around. Is he good?
He is.
Good.
I met him. He had a little place called the Banana Boat on Oakland Park, right next.
He had that too.
Right next to Pete. No, he was the manager there. General manager there.
I did go there.
And Pete and Lenny's was right next door.
Yep.
That's where I first met Roland. And then he opened up September's, and that place was like
that was a smash. That
it was
place
beautiful.
Was...
Had a pool. Remember that little pool?
That's kind of like the John
You and
Travolta.
Jimmy know that pool.
I did.
Yeah.
I ended up in that thing one night. Too many drugs and alcohol. I did end up there one night. Combination package.
Had a band, had like a 10-piece band or something.
That's the loosest I've ever been able to get Jimmy Cephalo. I made that birthday a little special that night. One of the wildest nights of his life.
I remember going, I remember back then that's where we would go to watch the fights. And this was a big time, this was the Ollie Frazier.
That's right.
This was the Sugar Ray Leonard era,
Tommy Hearns.
When boxing was at his, I don't know about the 50s and stuff, but when boxing was, they had a bunch of welterweights, middleweights, lightweights, heavyweights.
Well, and Tyson came up,
and they fought each other. Yeah. They didn't hide from each other for 7 years.
No.
Yeah, that was good times. That was good clubs.
Yeah.
Mr. Laughs, never to be outdone.
I probably could have been a better player if we didn't go.
Don't start that. Omar's going to hear that. Now he's going to start on that again.
In fact, your whole team could have probably been better.
Hey, I'm not letting you off the hook. Wildest player.
Wildest player?
Wildest, like.
Well, I don't know. You remember Wally Pursuit?
No, I didn't know Wally, but I've heard the stories about him.
Well, yeah, Dirty Wally. Called him Dirty Wally.
That's all you have to say, Dirty.
From Kentucky. He came out of Kentucky. He's an offensive lineman. And I tell you, Wally was Wally, Wally looked like Bluto. I mean the cartoon Bluto. He had the beard and the dark hair, big old guy, and he was just a maniac. I mean, he's one of those guys that never did anything half. He was all in. I remember he calls me up one day and says, "Hey, let's meet me at I think we were going to Art Stock's Playpen South."
Oh yeah, everybody had to have a wet T-shirt contest. Judge.
So I go, yeah, I'm not going to be. I'll be there, but I'll be there, like a little bit late. And so I walk in, and he's in the back bar, and he's already 3 sheets to the wind, and he got 15 shots at tequila. He says, "You're behind," right?
Come on.
Yeah, that night didn't turn out very well.
No.
I just looked him up. He played 2 years with the Dolphins.
Yeah. So Wally. So Dave, I don't know. So we had a big fight in St. Louis on Thanksgiving Day, and I'm not going to go through the whole story about it, but it got to the point where 2 of our guys got hurt, and Conrad Dobler was involved, and so Wally was an offensive lineman, and we're in the game, and it's getting really heated. I mean, really heated, and so all of a sudden, and Wally he's a special teams guy, and I think maybe he was on like the field goal blockers or field goal protection or something, but he'd always take like bennies and stuff. I mean, he'd be foaming at the mouth on the sideline trying to get in. And so all of a sudden we're sitting there, and Shoes sends Wally Pursuit, an offensive guard, into our huddle, and everyone goes, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "Oh, Shoes wants me to be over Conrad." So he puts him over Conrad.
Conrad known as the dirtiest player in football.
And like him, he was like, he couldn't talk because he was so bennied up.
Yeah.
He goes, Dobler. And like as soon as snap.
Man.
And I remember I was playing outside linebacker. I'm dropping down into my short zone I'm backpedaling about 10 yards down. And all of a sudden I look to my side, and Wally's got Conrad by the face mask, jerking him back and forth. And he's like 5 yards past me downfield. and then
all hell broke loose. I'll never forget. There were fights everywhere.
All hell broke.
That's when Grease threw 5 or 6 touchdowns.
It was a record 6 touchdowns. The St. Louis Cardinals were the hottest team in the league, and Ed Playstead, one of the writers for the
Hollywood Sun, where he goes in the
Hollywood
shower?
Sun Tatler, he had, before we went, there was a Thanksgiving Day game, and he said he had a column. He was the columnist for him. So and it had a picture of a turkey with like 10 necks on it and all of our faces on it. And his thing is, I don't know why the Dolphins are going to St. Louis. They're just going to turn out to be Thanksgiving dinner, right? And so yeah.
Great column. I'll back up the columnist there, but he ended up in the shower.
He
that
ended up
day.
in the shower.
Kuchenberg threw him in, right?
Cooch and Langer lifting him up. So after the
Wow.
game, they came in the locker room with Cooch and Langer. Hey, look at. Don't talk to this guy Plaisted. I don't want to see anybody talking to this guy Plaisted. Well, so some guys like talking to him. They both picked him up, walked him, and Shula used to just stand by the wall. Like he just pick a wall and stand there to do his press stuff. So he's standing on the wall doing the presser, and all of a sudden they're carrying Plaisted into the shower, and Shula's going, "Hey, what's going on here?"
He's trying to explain all the fights and stuff.
And the next thing you know, they threw him in the shower and just wouldn't let him come out.
Now, that was a day. That was a full day right there.
That was amazing. I still remember that fight and the stories that came out of that thing. We got 9 o'clock hour coming up here. Yeah, man. Conrad Dobler, man, got a little dirty with the guys, and that was it for shoes. He'll do something about it. Loctite, I want to tell you, they'll do something for you too here before hurricane season. If you're still thinking about it, listen, Impact Windows, when you talk about Loctite and the great work they do, are hurricane category 5 rated, withstand 140 mile per hour winds. Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing provides 100% financing, 0 down. Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing, no interest, no payments for a year. Boy, if you need roofing material, they do it all. Tile, shingle, metal, flat. Loctite really does it all. Roof replacements and repairs 24/7 for you as well. Impact Windows as low as $6 per month per window installed. Don't wait for the next storm. They cover all of South Florida. They do it all. Once you agree to go with them and you're looking for a company, I recommend. They'll do great work for you. They do it all. Permits, HOA approvals, from start to finish, man. A true turnkey service for you. Loctite Impact is a licensed and insured contractor, ready to make sure you have a great experience no matter where you are. Here's what you need to do. You can visit LoctiteImpact.com. Again, LoctiteImpact.com, or you can call 954-500-LOCK. They got a great staff ready to help you get the process started today.
Not many games left.
Two-time World Series winner Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. Sandy Alcantara pitched a 3-hit complete game as the Marlins defeated the White Sox 10-0. They'll play the Yankees in New York tomorrow at 1:35. The Heat, they fell to the Celtics 147-129. They're going to host the Wizards Saturday at 3. The Panthers have the Boston Bruins coming to town tonight at 7. And a judge has ruled Tiger Woods can leave the country for treatment for substance abuse. On to weather, brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping homeowners stay safe this storm season. Visit tornadoroofing.com for a free roof and window estimate. Should get some rain today, and temperatures should be in the mid to high 70s. I am Dan Day, and this is the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
I've been watching you a la 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 long, a la 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 long, long, long,
Show host.
All right, welcome back here at the 9 o'clock hour. We're just telling stories during the break that they're pretty good. Harvey Green, interesting guy, longtime communications guy for the Dolphins, and really good at what he did. He was here for a long, long time.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And no matter how much coaches beat him up, he took it well. Saban beat him.
Saban beat him up.
Saban beat him up at a real high level, and he's like, no, he was great with me, and I go, Harvey, he used to kill you, man.
He got some great stories.
He's got great stories.
He's on the inside through many generations of Dolphin, and he worked for
Steinbrenner.
Steinbrenner.
And Steinbrenner, yeah.
If
when I first met Harvey, he was with Steinbrenner.
Honestly, two guys that have a show, if they could be honest, you'd have to get a little liquor in both of them to tell. Stu Weinstein and Harvey Green know all the great stories that Bo and I don't know. They know all the behind the scenes. They know both sides of it. They know the police side of it. They know detectives, FBI agents, the drug enforcement. They know they've seen it all.
Everything, yeah.
But I mean, obviously,
and I tell you what, it takes a special person to keep those stories in. You know what I mean? To not, to earn that confidence that you're not going to spill the beans on somebody.
Yeah. And they both have to this day, and they listen, they'll tease you a little bit.
They may give you the R-rated version, but you're never going to get that X-rated, the real dirty.
Just think of the stuff they've been through, from carjackings that were make-believe, that, guys afraid to go. I mean, seriously, of guys disappearing, guys going AWOL before games. I mean, they've been track them down and Stu stuff, especially in the early years.
Yeah.
It was a crazy time.
Well, Harvey, you talk just his hiring. When Joe Robbie hired him, Steinbrenner blocked it. No, you're not going. And Joe Robbie and Steinbrenner got into it.
Yeah.
To the point, and Joe Robbie stood up to Steinbrenner. So, no, we're going to hire this guy.
Well,
we're a PR guy.
So Joe, at that time, Joe was trying to get a baseball team down here. He was trying to buy a baseball team, and they had. I think they were pretty deep into the thing. And then when he hired Harvey from Steinbrenner, and they kind of went back and forth, and Steinbrenner said, "You'll never get a baseball team. You take him, you'll never get a baseball team."
For taking a communication guy.
Yeah. It was probably less about the communications guy.
It was the ego.
It was the ego.
But I wish it was about the PR
You're
guy.
going to leave me to go to him,
I got to tell you, though, as we have learned and been part of the pain and being a pain in the ass that I am, the communication people, just think of those jobs that every time something happens with one of the knuckleheads, and every team's got knuckleheads, nobody's knucklehead proof, that something's going to happen and they got to put that fire out. Sometimes it's on vacation.
Yeah.
You get the call in the middle of the night.
Well,
I wouldn't want that security job or communications. That couldn't pay me enough money.
That's what I was going to say. If you're a communications guy or a security person, and it's 4:00 in the morning, the phone rings, you go, "Oh my God, now what is it?" Right?
And you got to answer no matter where you are.
Exactly. Oh, well,
I think Ann was like with her family in like Italy last year, and she only gets this little vacation, and they're calling her going, we got a problem here. And then I was thinking back to
her brother was getting married, and then she couldn't go to the
reception
or the night before that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because she, I think, when all the firings of the Dolphins this year. So that look, it's a weird life at some point. All of us, really in the business, it's a weird life. You miss things, and you.
Yeah, but you know what? It's
not like that.
It's
though, the unknown.
But I think the experience of just being around inside, the stuff that we get to do and see, and the travel and just seeing the inner workings of a big sporting, a big, just a massive, popular thing, and you're sitting there in the middle. It's been a really great ride for me.
No. Listen, it's been great. I mean, I'm with you. Last year was just.
Oh yeah. Well, it was.
I had a rough year.
Well, the best thing in this job is watching excellence at work. And talking to. We get to ask questions to excellence.
Yeah.
And see, and the worst part is the flip side of last year when you see things just fall apart.
I just don't want to go home after the game, an hour after the game. And my wife still got the game on CBS. I go, what are you doing? She goes, I've never seen Bo like this. He's mad. He's asking questions and he's mad. Like he's really mad. And I go, what?
Oh, come on.
No, I'm dead serious.
No, I came into the Cleveland game last year. I walk in the post-game interview room. I'm waiting for the coach to come in, and Bo's live on TV. And he's going, that was the worst quarterback play I've ever seen in the NFL that there ever was in the NFL. And he gets off in the air, and he goes, how'd that sound? I go, sound like you were kind of mad, Bo.
Hey, I got to tell you though, it worked. I go for my wife to not turn the game off, and then I noticed then all the rest of the games she goes, oh no. As soon as they lost that game, I knew Bo was going to be pissed off. I was waiting to see what he's going to say. Like, because, he lost his filter. I don't know. When did you lose your filter? About 2 years ago?
Yeah, a few years ago. But I just, you get tired. I get, maybe I went overboard in Cleveland, but, I just.
That was a bad loss.
I expect, I expect excellence at that level. I expect excellence, and we've had a lot of we've gone and maybe it's bad because we went through a lot of excellence when Don Shula was here, and some with Jimmy Johnson, and then Dave Wannstedt, and then things kind of went off the rails, and I'm tired of seeing, and there's a little bit of I'm tired of not seeing excellence on the field that could been excellence if they had some different leadership in place. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the reason.
Good players that aren't playing to their level, and they should be. Yeah. It just makes me angry.
So I got to say this because this pops up. I think players care and they want to win.
I do. I believe so.
I believe most of those guys want to win.
I think guys would rather.
I think they take losses hard.
I know they do.
You sit on the plane with me.
Yeah. No, we don't get on that. We're on that plane. And when they lose, I don't care if they lose to whoever it is, it's dead silence. I mean, they're not.
No matter who you are, when you play well, and know when you don't.
Yeah.
When you whiff on a block to drop a ball, like it, everybody handles it a little different. But yeah, so that one, and then I hate to bring it up, but Omar's the thing about. Are you worried about nightlife with players?
No.
I'm serious. I never asked you.
The only thing so to me, I would say get your nightlife done by Thursday.
What nights?
Friday, Saturday. Thursday was a big night for us.
Joe was saying Friday night was a big night for you guys. No.
Yeah, Saturday. Friday was.
As long as you're done Saturday.
Friday was not.
Don't do anything Saturday.
Friday wasn't a big practice. Not a hard one. Yeah. So if you wanted to go a little hard Thursday night, you were okay.
Oh, Thursday night. But what about Friday night?
Friday night was fine because you got Saturday. You were going to be with the team and to recover, hydrate, all that stuff. Yeah. It was listen. It was not saying we didn't have a bunch of.
Hey, let me tell you what.
A little bit of everything.
Let me tell you what. This 17-0 team, you don't think they're choir boys?
I know they weren't.
They were.
Management would tell the story. The 72 they went out to they piled into a rental car with Dick Anderson, about 7 of them, and they went the whole night. They went around and they run into.
I think the guy that played next to Dick Anderson is one of the. I never played with him.
Yeah.
One of the wildest
Jake.
human beings I've ever seen. Jake Scott.
Yeah,
I saw Jake
one of the smartest
Scott,
guys I've ever been around. I tell you that.
But he was pure. He was unbelievable on the football field.
Yeah, no, he was smart. He was smart. He was athletic. He was, I mean, and that tandem, those two guys.
He got into so many fights that the judge finally told him who he knew. He finally told him, "This is the last one.
Yeah,
you're done."
Yeah.
I went and spent a weekend with him out in Hawaii.
I know.
That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
And he said, "Hey, meet me at this bar at 5:00."
Yeah.
And I walk in the bar, and there he is sitting in the middle. A couple native Hawaiians on either side.
Yeah.
If you see the movie The Descendants with George Clooney, Jeff Bridges is sitting in the chair where he sits, and the same 2 native Hawaiians are. Anyways, walked in at 5, and I left about 2 in the morning.
Well,
he was drinking salty dogs. I'll never forget a vodka and a grapefruit drink.
Really,
and he was putting them down.
Back in the day, Fort Lauderdale used to have 6 o'clock clubs, bottle clubs, And I don't know what I don't know what made them allowed to be open at 6 o'clock till 6 o'clock in the morning. One was Hemingway's in Hollywood.
Yeah,
was a 6 o'clock club, and there was a couple in Fort Lauderdale. And I'll admit I had gone to every now and then I probably went into maybe 3 or 4 times. The whole time I was.
Was that supposed to be good that you only went a few times because you're wild too?
No, well, I don't know. Let's not go that way. But I'm gonna tell you, if I walked into 4 6 o'clock clubs at about 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 of the times I saw Jake Scott there, and then it would be random play. Someone go, "Hey, there's a bottle club down there. Okay, let's go in." I went in, and there's Jake sitting right there, like nothing, just like it's.
That's his day. That's his seat. Yeah. He was.
We're at the La Sabre one night, and I heard screaming from women and stuff, and they go, "Oh my God!" And I didn't know him. They go, "I knew who he was. He retired." And they go, "Jake Scott's over there, and he's got it stirred up." I don't know who he was with, but he was. Whatever he had said to this lady, and she was fired up, and they were screaming, and I went, wow. And then they started hearing all the great stories of Jake Scott, including the best story when they finally let him go. They asked him to take the needle during a preseason game.
What was witness to?
Were you there for that?
I was in the locker room. So it was a preseason game. It was my first preseason game in the Orange Bowl, and I run down an opening kickoff and get my knee blown out. And
same game
done for the season.
I didn't know that.
So now I'm on the sideline, and I know they're going to, he said the Dr. Virgin, he goes, you're going to have to, like, by the time I hit the bench, he goes, you're going to have surgery tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. I go, what? I go, what?
The guy was the fastest diagnosis of all time.
He says, I knew it when I saw you go down.
Might as well have been on TV.
I want to buy a new car. So I'm on the sideline. So when we go in the locker room, I'm getting out of my uniform, and I'm in the shower, and get my street clothes on. Everyone's out in the locker, and I hear this commotion outside, and I peek around, and I see Coach Shula and Jake, Coach Shula. It was a preseason game. I think Coach Shula wanted Jake to shoot his shoulder up. He had a bad shoulder.
Yeah.
Wanted him to shoot it. He goes, I'm not, Coach. I'm not shooting up for a preseason game. I'm not going to do that.
Remember, this is a guy who played the Super Bowl with both wrists broken.
Right.
So it's not like he didn't.
No,
play.
right. No. He said, I'm not going to do that. And so they did boom, back and forth. And then they left, and I'm going, and like, I'm a rookie. I've been there because I came late because I was at the college all-star game. I've only been there for like 2 weeks.
And you're saying this.
And I'm going, what? The hell's going on here? And then like the next week they traded him. So Coach Shula traded him because they'd been through the whole thing, and Jake was, I don't think he was on his downward side, because he went to Washington and played really well with the Redskins for a while. And so, but I think he'd had enough. It was a point where Coach Shula had enough, because Jake was always he was oil and water. And so he trades Jake to the Redskins Feel like, and so now he's got rid of this problem, right? Got rid of Jake Scott. It's a problem because he's just, he wants to run the team and do everything. And they in return they got a guy,
Brian Salter.
They got a guy named Brian Salter. He's a safety, and Brian came in and he had a full beard, and Coach Shula didn't
no beards.
You remember all the guys had Fu Manchus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they started with beards, and Coach Shula says, "Hey, we have no beards on this team." So they just they
let him
they
go
cut
all the way
beard,
down.
but no, they shaved the beard, but they left the Fu Manchu, right? So that was okay, just as long as it wasn't a beard. So Bryant's got this whole beard, and so he comes in and he sits down, and hey, Brian Salter here, and he says, Brian, we got a no facial hair policy. He goes, Coach, this is part of my religion. Right?
No, hit him with the religion.
Hit him with the religion, and now he can't. Now he says, "I'm not going to shave it." Now he's got another problem on his. He trades Jake. He
Bring me back, Jake.
He trades Jake. He trades Jake for
That's
some of the, for
hilarious.
another problem.
That's
and I'm sitting there. I'm 21 years old, just turned 21, and I'm sitting there. And I came from San Jose State Podunk,
Yeah.
And I'm going. Hey, we're the Miami Dolphins, and I'm going. What the hell is going on here?
Jake
How did that shake out? Did he shave his beard or what?
No,
he didn't.
no.
The religion clause was okay.
Jake Scott telling the doctor to tell Coach Shula go F himself. He ain't shooting up, and then those guys going. That's incredible.
One of my first meetings went in with we had it was when it was Bill Arnsparger had gone to New York, and we had a guy named Don Dahl was a defensive coordinator. We're in a meeting. And I'm playing linebacker, so anyone in the pass coverage was in that meeting, and so the defense coordinator was the guy that ran the program there. So we're installing a defense, and he's putting this in, and he puts a projector on to show some stuff, and Jake Scott goes, and I'm not going to use the words he said. He goes, that's not going to effing work. That's not gonna work. And I look at him, I go, what? and so the coach goes, what? And he goes on to another one. He goes, it's not gonna effing work, man. And he goes, now he goes, well, who is that? Jake. He goes, it's me, Jake. He goes, Jake says, it's me. He goes, what do you mean it's not gonna work? He says, we play the Baltimore Colts twice a week. They got Roger Carr on this side, they got Lydell Mitchell here. They got Raymond Chester here. They got this guy here. They got this guy here. Who's going to cover the weak back, right? When they run this play that they run 8 times a game.
So Jake was really smart on that.
I mean, and the coach goes, well, I'm going to get back to you tomorrow on that. Turn the lights on, move on. Next day he walks in, he goes, well, we're not going to run that defense. I mean, Jake was football smart, like I've never seen before.
Man, that's crazy. Hey, we got to go to break here. We're a little bit late on a freelance Thursday. We'll be right back.
Text W.
Jake Scott. Wow. Yeah, man. You've done a book on that, so you're perfect. And Bo was there. Bo's a young guy that's sitting there during that whole time with. It's a weirdest story though. Coach Hugh asked him to take the needle for a preseason game.
Yeah, they had something, and that was something. Supposedly, Jake said, "I knew they were shopping me, and so they wanted me to play." That was part of it. But Jake was his own. I mean, he rode his motorcycle over the Georgia Dome while in college. They had the wide concrete whatever that went over the dome, and he went on one and rode it up and over. And after that, they put trees around the pillars so nobody else could ride up. And so there are a million stories about it. He was a
free-spirited guy, man. And then getting a chance to know him later on. And then I was around when he finally came back, and he and Coach Shula, after a long, long time and not talking. And, of course, they had signings, and those guys are making a lot of money on the undefeated, taking them to go to card shows and not the money they're making now, but really good money. And they couldn't. And then I don't know if it was a combination of Jim Mandage and Nat Moore finally got those guys back. Like, hey, man, you guys are going to regret this. You guys are both getting older. Shoes let everything go. I think for the most part.
He was a lot healthy. It was very healthy. I thought it was showed what a great man he was, that he'd let everything go, because I wrote some things about him at the end. You said some, but he let. I got a call from Jake Scott's sister after he passed, and he had put his brain to the Harvard study for CTE, and Jake had said he wants the results sent to me. So I ended up talking to all the doctors in Harvard and CTE, and he had CTE. Yeah. Him and 3 or 4 other Dolphins at the time.
Wow.
He was a fascinating guy.
He was. Maybe when you look at all of them, I've been lucky in recent years to be around Larry Zonka with some things, including the book sign. I know you know Zonk too. I say that, and I know you know all these guys and have done book. You did your book on 17-0 Dolphins as well as Bob Greasy, right? Both?
Yeah. And that's really where I got to know guys from that era, because obviously I went around but I did it at the 30th year anniversary of it, and all the stories. The great thing about that, they'd say anything. They'd tell you everything from the, Jim Langer saying, I had a bad knee, and they said, we can handle this internally or externally. He said, what's the difference? And they said, well, internally we the screws were loose. Internally we go in and we put the screws back down, but you're done for the season. What's externally? And they brought a 2x4 and a hammer. and they tried to hammer the screws back in. I mean, some of the stories are just unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, they had 2 doctors, father and son, that put in a lot of years with the team. And they were the last of I'm putting it nicely, because I have been sued by the younger of the 2. They're both passed. They did everything. They did operations from toe to the top. They did. We got specialists for everything now. And you go to Baptist Health, and they got a handful of great knee doctors, and they got back doctors, and hell, I've seen foot doctors over there. I had some problems with my feet. They've done it all. And back then, that was it. He was the guy. I walked out of the hospital getting ready to get my shoulder operated on, and I handle things this way. I've noticed a pattern of handling things when I know I'm not going to do it, but I wait until the last second to.
That's a tough one, though.
I did it and a first time around in a marriage too. I did the same pattern, except it was a little different. The wedding. Well, I'm just saying, I'm being honest. I've had a pattern of waiting to the last second, knowing I shouldn't do something. So anyway, I went in there and for my shoulder, which was separated, not dislocated, but separated. And I had seen Dr. Canal, who told me, hey, I went in before, and somebody had told me in the neighborhood, hey, we know him. We can get you in to see him before you go check into the hospital. I'm going, oh, what the hell? I know I'm going to do this, but let me hear what this guy has to say. Dr. Canal is a very well-respected doctor. He's a Yankee doctor and a great human being as a doctor. And so he took a look at it and he said, hey, I'm not tell you this, but this heals on its own. Nobody operates on this anymore. This is outdated surgery. You'll have a bump the rest of your life, but you're good. It'll heal. You should be back in maybe 6 weeks. So, wow. I said, and now I'm thinking surgery, I'm done for the year. And we had a really good team. We hadn't lost a game. We got off to a great start. Won the first 10 games that year with Danny, with Marino, and he was breaking every record. It was fun to be. We're throwing it everywhere, and nobody could stop it. So I was like, wow. Well, I appreciate it, but I got to go tell Coach Shula this news. So, and I had a good idea what it was going to go like. So I go down. It's our day off. We had just played the Steelers and beat them. Dan Marino's first game. So I go in to his office, and on an off day, he takes those glasses off. Very intimidating in his office. The most intimidating place I've ever been. And I said, hey, what are you doing in here? What's going on? Aren't you supposed to be going down to get that operation? I go, well, that's why I'm here. I got some great news from a really well-respected doctor in Fort Lauderdale. He's a team doctor for the Yankees. And he goes, he's a baseball doctor. Hit me with the baseball doctor stuff. So he said, just go down and get the thing done, man. I don't want to hear anything else. And he wasn't having it. And the doctor they were all connected. It was like part of the team. The doctor at that time would tell him, and they'd work off that. So I went in there, and I checked in and to Mercy Hospital. And I was up first thing in the morning. I was the first guy, so they came in and prepped me, shaved half my body, and put that stuff in for an early morning surgery. And I don't know, 5 a.m, I called the doctor and said, don't come in if I'm the first surgery because I won't be here. I'm leaving. And he must live close to Mercy Hospital. I knew he lived down there in the Grove. And he got there quickly and I'm in pain now. I mean, it was hurting. And I'm still naked. I had that gown on. And remember, the gowns were back when you got surgeries. The gown they put on, the back end was open. Yeah. So I couldn't get my underwear because I was in pain, and my underwear and my shorts and my T-shirt. So I literally grabbed my wallet and my keys, and asked him to get away from the door because he and the nurse were blocking the door. Said, you're making a mistake. Don't do this and all that. And I said, you need to get out of the way. Now I was mad and I was drugged up. And I walked out
in that
gown with the back end. I couldn't even tie the back end. So my ass is showing in the back. And I walked out of Mercy, and I still remember everybody staring at me in the morning, all those nurses going out like this guy's walking out. And I had that orange stuff all over me, that stuff they put on your body. And I walked out. I jumped in that car, and I took off in serious pain, and about half looped up too, combination. And I remember driving down the freeway because I lived in Fort Lauderdale. I'm going real close to St. Thomas where we were practicing, and I knew I'd opened a can of worms. I knew it was trouble. I knew the worst part was yet to come because
you got to face Shula.
I got to face Shula, which was a lot worse than facing that doctor telling me to get out of my face before I punched him. And I went home, and Bo's one of the first guys knocks on my door. He goes, the old man's pissed off, man. What are you going to do? So now they're all calling me. Hey, you okay? Coach Shula thinks you went to California to see one of those Berkeley doctors or something. And it was, and so he tried and the worst part, he tried to get a hold of me for like 3 days. And I didn't answer, which made it just, Ann's calling me nonstop. Coach Shula is trying to get a hold of Joe. Where is he? Is he in town? He wants to know. So I finally face him. You know, they got Cleveland Browns are getting ready to play at home halfway through the week. And here I come. and he blasted me. I mean, he tore into me. I mean, it was, you know what I've had to answer. I mean, it was everything, you know, and are you a doctor? I got hit with everything. What's my medical background? I mean, I could see shoes. He was letting it rip. He had build up, like waiting for me, knowing I was going to have to face the music, you know, and honestly, I was a little insecure. I going, I might be done.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was playing my best football early on, but I thought I was done. I go, you know what? I'm going to get healthy and be looking for a new team here. I thought for sure. And he said, this is the date that the doctor said you'd be back from this surgery. He gave him a date that I'd be back, and I had like 6 weeks. And I had no choice. Wasn't ready to go in 6 weeks. And they go, you ready to go? And I go, and he goes, you're ready to go. And I go, yeah. And I went out and played with that thing. And it was painful to get through the rest of the year. And we went Super Bowl, the whole deal.
Did it heal on its own?
It healed in the offseason on its own. But nobody ever said, hey, good decision, or, you know, I went against the team. It was
different era.
It was tough. That's one of the, and by the way, it changed your relationship when you do get the wind knocked out of you, which happens. I get flipped on the same pattern running down the middle of the field, and those guys are drilling you. And doctor doesn't come out. Doesn't come out on the field. And the guys know what's going on, so you're getting help from your guys to help you up. Say, hey, man, help me up. And you go off, and it was bad. So it was a crazy time.
That's a crazy story. You know, that's one of the things that have really improved in sports.
So anyway, you know, and that was it for the relationship with that doctor.
Yeah, you weren't the only one to have problems. You had one of the more the more dramatic stories, I guess.
So now the guy that was my roommate at the time is Danny. So now he has a problem with his knee, off season. He disappears. So now it's off season. I get a phone call. Oh my God, it's Ann. Coach Shula wants to see you. So, oh God, here we go again. And listen, man, I dreaded it because he ain't calling you to go, hey, you having a good off season? How's everything? How's the relationships? And you know, it was about him. He goes, Marino, found some doctor, a guy named Stedman or something out in Lake Tahoe getting his knee done. And I go, I know who the guy is. He's Olympic.
Yeah, he's
ski
only the
doctor.
best
he's
knee
considered
doctor
to
in
be
the world.
the best doctor for this knee. And he'd already had, you know, some bad work done. And he's like, I go, hey, man, coach. I mean, now at some point you have to go, hey, coach, look it. I know. I know I'm not perfect, but 13 thinks for himself. 13, he didn't call me. He didn't say he did that on his own. I didn't even know he was out there. I mean, I'm not. He's only going to get on him so much because his ass can be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. You know, it's only going to go so far. But, yeah, man, it was so even that, and then guys started breaking away because there were specialists out there that they could use. We got to go to break here. I'm sorry, Dave. Sorry to get into that stuff.
I love that. I love hearing how, you know, you can appreciate how much things are better now for players
so much better.
And regards to injuries.
Yeah, they tell him to go see other doctors. And guys, hey, he got another specialist. Let me get him on here. This is a guy, he's really good. Hey, Fred. Hey, thanks. Center got hurt yesterday, and they work that way, so it's great. Hey, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.
WQAM, broadcasting live from the Ed Moore
All right, welcome back, and good morning to everybody. Yeah, man, Dave, you bring back all that old stuff, and we got.
I'm an old guy.
No, well, you've done books, man. You've been around long enough to do books, and a lot of it, you've been around Greasy and Marino and all this.
Do you think guys get, when I hear these stories, I think there's so many injuries in football right now because of the size and the speed of the guys.
I think it's a lot worse now because guys are bigger, stronger, and faster.
Okay, that's my thought too. That seems like
everybody's all they get hurt more, and I go, no, man. I go, look at the size of these guys. Look at the size. I watch Combine because usually I go home and after I'm watching 250-pound guys running in the 4.3s, and then the other part of this, besides that, the guys are bigger and faster. Look at the size of the offensive line compared to our guys. We didn't have a 300-pounder on the team.
Right. I mean,
the University of Miami offensive line was 330 pounds or 325 pounds across the board.
Now the high schools are over 300
Everybody.
pounds. I mean,
everybody wants big offensive linemen now. Yeah, so and they're just getting the workouts, and you get hit with one of those and then take a genius to figure it out. And the hits, they do a better job of protecting players now. I mean, back then, part of the scouting report, they would say Kenny Easley and Ronnie Lott, look at probably early in the game when we run go routes down the middle of the field, they're going to hit you and might hit you early and not go for an interception and try to intimidate you. That'd be in the scouting report.
That would intimidate me if Ronnie Lott's coming for my head. That would intimidate me. That would.
So it's on your mind. I mean, you're concentrating because I'd rather catch it than hear what I'm going to get going off the field. But yeah, those guys are going to hit you, and they wanted to set the tone for the game early on, and it wasn't a penalty, and if it was worth it because they knew we run a lot of takeoff routes in different areas. So yeah, and they had a bunch of guys back then that loved to hit you, man. Love to time it up perfectly if they could, so that they wouldn't. But and it's coming. Yeah, that's where you know it's coming. You see where everybody's lined up, and you just know it's coming. David Woodley, he'd stare at you the whole way down the field, make sure everybody knew where it was going.
It was coming too.
Danny did, man. Now Danny looked the other way, and then the ball was gone, and the guy's barely getting out of his back pedal. The ball was there, so it's different. But it's crazy stuff.
The career
going on.
you could have had if you played now, though, too, where you're not getting hit in the head, right?
No, but I wouldn't have been good enough to play in today's game. Seriously.
Speed?
Yeah. Everything. No. We were talking about this small percentage of people still when we look at it, and we're talking about all these guys getting drafted and playing. And I'm curious about this class coming out. I really am. 3 guys could go in the first round. It's been a long time, but they could probably get another 6 or 7 guys going to get drafted.
Keon Scott is really
Keontae Scott is a good-looking prospect.
He's somebody everybody's talking about now because of his speed and size and you saw what he did last year too. So
no, he played great, and he tackled well in open space and all the things that the league's looking for. And they got probably 3 guys on the offensive line going to get drafted. I think, one guy's going in the first round for sure. I think Markel Bell on the other side is going to go, 3rd round, 4th round, 6'9", 340 pounds.
Huge, right. Someone.
I had a nice talk with him the other day at practice. I said, what happened, man? I said, I've done stuff. And they go, no, you were out of eligibility. And others go, no, he wasn't. He goes, I was told it was 60-40 that I was going to get another year of eligibility. He goes, but I just didn't want to go through it. Basically, he told him it was 50-50 that he was going to get that year back. And, of course, Miami was hoping.
Sure, yeah.
You want him back another year because they're trying to say, hey, we think you come back another year the way you played in the playoff games, you'll be a first-round pick. And he just didn't want to go through it. I think he knows there's a same thing we know and see. There's a shortage of offensive linemen. He's going to be on somebody's roster.
If you're being told you'll be a 3rd-round pick and it's 50-50 to,
it's $1 million
depending on your
signing
situation.
Bonus. Yeah, still. Now, he might be making close to that coming back.
Yeah, right.
the money now at that level is different. Anyway, yeah. So we've had a little bit of everything today, Dave. It's been a lot of fun, man, and Bo's great stories and Jake Scott and everything else. So we got that. We've got the Panthers back in action tonight. They're about. I got nothing but respect the way they played against Ottawa and stuff, and their best players. Kachuk's playing out of his mind. Verhaeghe has a couple goals. Bennett's still playing hard.
The center is held of their identity, who they are through what's been an awful run of luck this season. But God, they could use a top if they could use a top 10 pick and throw a top 10 pick of youth into this team. And
you know what bothers me? I don't know if how we're so educated on all these because they're doing mock drafts. Like as we're talking,
I don't know.
There's 900 mock drafts going out there, and they got 20 shows today on it. I don't know how deep the hockey draft is.
There's some like the top 3 picks are almost interchangeable for talent. They're saying, but I don't know how deep it goes either.
Yeah.
But it's one that the hockey people are really looking at the top of the draft.
Well, Dave, man, thank you. It's always great going down history lane,
Joe.
man, with you. Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel with us all day, Dan Day. Nice enough to fill in, brother. Always can count on him. And Jamie coming in. Jamie, good luck on that date. Can't wait to hear how it's going to go with a guy that can't speak Spanish and a Spanish girl that can't speak English. That's going to be one hell of a night. I can't wait. You pull this one off, brother. Standing ovation.
Fantastico.
Hey, that's right. Good luck. Yeah.
Remember, La Cuenta es para ella, right? Just make her pay the bills for her.
Oh,
right?
I thought you just said, would you like to make love to me? I didn't know what you were saying. Hey, that's going to do it for the show. Have a great day, everybody.